audio? Okay. I can hear myself. Perfect. Okay, what's going on, guys? It's Creator and Ron here. We're back again. Special episode this week in wrestling, episode 45. First off, I just want to thank Ron because if it wasn't for him, I would have completely forgot the podcast was today. Because I looked back and I literally said it was today and I completely forgot. So thanks, Ron.
I'm the one. Yeah, I was the one who even asked you. I said, "Hey, I have a tournament tomorrow that I'm going to, so
Yeah.
I won't be on tomorrow unless we do it. Unless we do it at different
And
times. So
I
how
would have
about Friday?"
completely forgot. Yeah, so sorry about guys,
Yeah.
but luckily I made it on time. I mean, I was able to create the stream on time. So a lot of interesting stuff happened this week, both inside of wrestling and outside of wrestling. First of all, we sadly had some deaths. I know you probably know more about them than I did, like the deaths of Bruno San
Um,
Martino and who was that other one?
there was another death in wrestling.
Yeah, it was a wrestler. Give me 1 second. It was from he
Yeah,
was
I didn't hear about this.
he was WWE related. Give me a second. It was like literally the next day. This other he was a manager, so probably he was a manager back then.
I didn't hear about this.
Hold on. All right, give me one. So yeah, Paul Jones.
Paul Jones. Hold on. Let me see if I
From what
can.
I gathered, he was a manager of a team that was feuding with the Road Warriors.
Okay, I have seen him before. He is very, very old school. I did not know he passed away.
Yeah, he
You know,
literally
I
passed away the
guess,
day. That's why he probably didn't know because the covers were so full of Bruno San Martino. He literally
yeah,
passed
that,
away.
yeah, right after. But yeah, I have seen this man before. He is way before my time, but I've seen him as far as footage and stuff like that. Like he's been a while. He's been there, old school WCW. Like I would say when Ric Flair was in his prime,
Damn.
WCW. Yes, like when the Four Horsemen. I want to say Rick, Arn. See, there was like so many horsemen, but like when Ric Flair was in his prime, I say like this: if I can remember correctly, Tony Schiavone had a mustache.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like that's how much. I'm trying to see if I can find anything else on him. He did manage he managed the Warlords, I think it was. Yeah, he
It
was
was
a
somebody.
wrestler. He was a wrestler, in his prime too. But as he got older, is like from the footage that I've seen, he was a manager. Hold on. The championship for Florida, Atlanta, champion wrestling. He has in his late career he did independent circus promotion of the Pennsylvania-based Tri-State Wrestling Alliance and the North Carolina South Atlantic Pro Wrestling in the 90s. He
Oh yeah,
retired
I
in
know nothing
91.
about that.
He retired in 91. He opened a body shop in Charlotte, North Carolina. But that was about it. Yeah, so in 1988, he was managing the Powers of Pain. I don't think it was Warlords, but I do remember the Powers of Pain. Um,
The Powers of
yes, and
Pain. Who are they?
the Powers of Pain. Give me a second, because the name, like I said, this is like my era. Well, I won't really say my era. The Powers of Pain. They actually, wow, this is actually something. They were also managed by Mr. Fuji
Uh,
before.
I do
The
know him.
Warlord, the Warlord and the Barbarian.
Okay.
They were and if like I said, this is like way before your time. This is a little bit before my time, but I know them by face and by footage and stuff like that. So he's not too far off. I've seen him, like I said, I've seen him in footages, but not like in actual wrestling back then when he was back in the 70s and stuff. That's stuff that like my father when he used to watch. Like most of the wrestling, as you know, some of the good wrestling came from the South. So that's what he was mainly known for, as I'm reading.
Well, that would explain why nobody knew about him because it was bad timing. Literally a day after Bruno San Martino.
Yeah, and like I said, I didn't even know that he had passed away because everyone was so focused on Lucy Martina. That's on the same lines. I don't want to get too far, but that's on the same lines as Farrah Fawcett passed away. Ed McMahon passed away. You know who else passed away on that same day?
Oh,
Michael Jackson.
damn.
It's like, oh my God, oh man, Ed McMahon passed away. Oh wow, oh man, Farrah Fawcett. Wow, Farrah Fawcett passed away. What? She was the first. She was the best angel for Charlie's Angels. Man, we all gonna miss her. Wait, hold on, Michael Jackson passed away.
What year
It's
was
like
that? 2016 was a horrible year.
no, that was 2016. That was 2009.
Oh no,
I remember that.
wait. My bad.
2016 was a year.
Prince. I was referring to Prince. Never mind.
Yeah, no, but
everybody was dying in 2016.
yeah. Speaking of Prince's anniversary of his death is tomorrow.
Oh, damn!
Yeah.
April's a bad month
Yeah.
for deaths. Damn.
But yeah,
So,
but I did not know about that.
Yeah. So, any thoughts on Bruno San Martino?
Well, once again, this is somebody who is way before. I mean, I'm only 33, but I know the name Bruno San Martino. If you're a wrestling fan, you know who he is. I just mentioned by the name alone. He is a legend. The fact of he held the worldwide Wrestling Federation belt, as I think it was called back then, for decades until he lost it to Nikolai Volkov, I think it was.
It was either Billy Graham or somebody else.
No, it was a wrestler. I do remember that. And the funny thing is that when he lost it, I think he lost in Philadelphia.
Huh.
I want to say, give me
Well, Philadelphia is a landmark wrestling place.
Yes, I mean, well, yes, that's true. And he is even though he is known mainly in Madison Square Garden, and the fact of him like everybody knows him in Madison Square Garden and stuff like that. He's wrestled in other places. And hold on, okay, no, I was wrong. He lost it in Madison Square Garden, but he lost it to Ivan Koloff.
Okay.
They call it the night the garden went silence.
Because they couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I mean the man held a championship for it. Decades.
Beat Ivan Koloff.
Hold on. After that, hold on. Give me a second. I gotta go now. I gotta go look him up. So Ivan Koloff news belts.
While you're looking that up, Nina Marie in the comment section said, Paul Jones certainly could be in the WWE Hall of Fame as a legacy inductee. Bruno's arguably the reason WWE is still around today.
True. And hell, for all we know, he could actually be in the Hall of Fame, and we just don't know it. Because
they do induct a bunch of legacy inductees, so he probably was like in the past 2 years. I don't even remember.
I mean, like I said last week, I didn't know Lord Alfred wasn't in the Hall of Fame at all. I thought he was. The man's been dead for 20 so years, and he hasn't been in.
Wait a while, yeah.
Koloff died last year. I did not know that.
Huh.
The Russian Bear, he died last year of liver cancer. I thought he was still alive. He lost it to. Hold on. I'm about to say Bob Backlund, but it's not that. And then all right, he ended San Martino's 7-2 third-year reign. Then he lost it 21 days later to Pedro Morales. Morales, a Puerto Rican wrestler. I know he's inducted.
Yep. Huh. All right.
So a lot of old school wrestling for you right there for the
Well,
daddies and the
did
grandpa.
say, yeah. WWE did say that they're gonna do a documentary on Bruno
And
Sammartino after Raw goes off the air. So
they're
on the
definitely
WWE
going to whip
network.
something up.
Yeah, yeah, on the network. So we'll see.
Yeah, they're definitely going to whip him up, whip something up for him.
Hmm. So in terms of wrestling news, yeah, Nia Marie did confirm it was to Pedro Morales. First off, this is just breaking today. Brock details on Brock Lesnar's new massive WWE deal. Fox Sports is reporting that Brock Lesnar's new WWE deal includes a massive $637,000 per match. Lesnar also reportedly earns $127,000 for each television appearance, as well as a 6% from all merchandise sales. Unlike Lesnar's last deal, the WWE will be able to use Lesnar's likeness for merchandising, which nets the Beast another $637,000 per year. Brock Lesnar's next $637,000 bout will be at the Greatest Royal Rumble in a steel cage match against Roman Reigns.
Hmm.
So I guess they have. I'm starting to think they might have him on like a, not exactly like Chris Jericho, where it's just per match will do if you do. So is he getting, or maybe not? Is he getting? How much is he getting paid just doing a promo on Monday Raw this Monday? Guess it's per
Uh,
match.
yeah, per match. So he's probably getting less for that just to be there.
Hmm.
You know, and as long as he doesn't do anything physical, he's probably getting like probably $5 or maybe.
He has to probably getting a quarter of a million just for appearing. Because maybe I could see probably 250,000. Hence why he hasn't showed up since WrestleMania. That would make a lot of sense. He hasn't shown up at
I
all since
mean,
WrestleMania.
yeah, I mean, look, sometimes you know, and since you say that deal and everything, it kind of makes you wonder. It's not the fact of Brock doesn't having a special deal or anything or whatnot. It's the fact of, can we afford Brock Lesnar this week?
Nope.
You know, like
Clearly not. They had to
it,
save their budget.
it's like that's what it comes down to. Maybe Brock Lesnar wants to be on TV more. Maybe Brock Lesnar wants to actually, be in the ring more or whatever. It's not the fact of him being a part timer by his choice. Maybe he's a part timer because they can't afford him all the time. It's like when you look at your paycheck and like, all right, I got all these bills to pay. I got this. I got that. Um, I can't afford Domino's, but I can probably afford Little Caesars. Yo, you
Yeah.
okay with that? That kind of thing. It's like, I think if we save up a little bit, I think this day I can actually afford.
But I mean, again, it just shows you, again, A, Brock Lesnar's a good negotiator, and B, how much WWE, or at least Vince McMahon at least, considers him. Because let's think about it.
Yeah,
He just has to appear twice in a month just to earn $1 million. Just twice. In 1 month alone, he will earn $1 million. That's why they only use him sparingly.
yeah. It's at the fact that we gotta save up money just to use them.
That's ridiculous. Because usually wrestlers only get paid a certain, like, almost like barely a million a year. He gets paid more than half of that in just one appearance. And
He
considering he
gets
makes,
paid. He gets paid just about as much as like other top name wrestlers like a Triple H or John Cena
in a year's
or whatever
contract, yeah.
in a year's contract. But I would say he gets paid that much when they were wrestling full time.
Yes. And now this time
Because
he's
Cena
doing
was
after wrestle. He's like so again. There will never be another superstar like this where he literally only wrestled pay per views. I can't remember another superstar who literally only wrestled pay per views under this like. I mean, as a because technically he is a WWE active roster member. I can't recall anybody else who was an active member of the roster who only wrestled pay per views.
yeah.
That's something, gets paid that much amount. That really says a lot. I mean, I know only Undertaker wrestled pay-per-views, but even still, I doubt he's making that much. And Undertaker isn't considered active. Brock Lesnar is still technically considered an active member of the roster. So, that's something. So, any final thoughts on that?
The man, like you said before, the man knows how to negotiate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I just find it funny the fact of like I said, can we afford him?
Well, I guess we'll have our answer after the Greatest Royal Rumble if Roman wins or not. That will pretty much be our answer.
I kind of have some breaking news. Nothing too big, but it's kind of talking about Dean Ambrose's injury and his status.
Oh, I did. I did hear that.
Apparently, Seth Rollins was given an update. Over at KFM 94.5 in South Africa. He says, let me get to it. He expects Dean Ambrose to be back in the ring by this summer, if not sooner. Well, he was like, yes, he said, yes, he is injured. He is injured. But he is injured. I don't know the details or the whereabouts of his injury, but he had some pretty intense tricep surgery earlier this year. So he's definitely still on the mend and rehabbing. He will be back and better than ever. You wait. Summertime, maybe late spring. Somewhere in there, I think. Whenever Wally guy gets back to normal.
Now, if you don't consider June, late spring, then he's probably missing Money in the Bank, but he'll definitely be there before SummerSlam at least.
Yeah, definitely before SummerSlam.
Well, there you go. I can potentially see probably Roman versus Dean or Roman versus Seth. And I said I meant Dean versus Seth. Because again, the way they did the last Dean Ambrose appearance, Seth Rollins was technically the reason why he got injured. So
yeah, true. And the people who injured him are not even on the same brand
on the roster anymore. That's my point. So it's like they literally made it obvious Dean Ambrose is probably going after Seth Rollins because the three people who injured him are all on SmackDown now. So we're unfortunately going into sad news because, well, I don't know how sad you consider it. It's like we're getting a negative. We're losing a negative for another negative. The coach is being relieved of his duties as the Raw commentary team. And guess who's coming back?
Yeah, the Booker man.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Remember that?
Yeah, it's something. This is going to be something, sadly.
Keep talking. I'm going to look at Booker T's various nicknames.
Yeah, I'm assuming now this is just, I doubt they're getting rid of Coach completely because the coach didn't word it like that. He said this is just, it is all for a good reason. I'm assuming what they're doing because I'm not trying to be.
But doesn't he have a scandal going on?
I don't know. What I'm assuming is they're putting Booker T back on Raw because they're probably going to move Coach to 205 Live because I don't mean to be that guy. But if you haven't really noticed in WWE, the commentary team, how it's set up, what's the one constant?
Corey Graves.
No. I mean, what's the thing that every show has? I'm including Raw, SmackDown.
I know what you're getting at, and
yeah. So they need Coach to fill that role on 205 Live. I'm assuming. Well, we'll see, but I'm assuming that's.
I know what you're getting at. It's kind of. Also, so his ring names, other than the Booker man, you have Cole, and I never heard of that. There must have been somewhere else. G.I. Bro.
G.I. Bro, okay.
Remember that? That was a thing. You have King Booker. Then you have Booker T. Just regular Booker. And then Black Snow.
That's new.
No, I remember Black Snow. It didn't last long, but I like Black Snow better than G.I. Bro. There was a long time. I don't know if you remember this, but there was a long time in WCW where WCW had affiliates with No Limit Soldiers Kiss, the band, because they actually have a wrestler called the Kiss Soldier.
Mm.
Then you had the same clown posse when they just left with WWF, when it was with the oddities, and he left from WWF and he went to WCW for a while. Then the Misfits, the actual band, the Misfits, or one of third of the band, the Misfits, because of Vampiro. And then I'm trying to think, was there someone else musically? I didn't say No Number Soldiers. Either way, they had a bit of a thing with wrestlers and music. So the point of he joining No Limit Soldier for their sports league. That's where G.I. Bill came from. Lasted about a month.
That's actually interesting. I was gonna say another news piece, but breaking news. WWE has confirmed that Asuka will be competing in her first ever SmackDown Live match this Tuesday when she teams up with Becky Lynch to face the Iconics. So there's that. Vader was
hospitalized. Yeah. I say he's back in the hospital. He just had his heart surgery and everything. He was doing fine at home, but then some reason he had to go back to the hospital. No, he's not. And it gets to me every day.
That's one of those people where you think, because like I was one of those people where it was like every year before they actually did it, I was shocked. I was like, how is Michael PSA's not in the Hall of Fame yet? And then they finally eventually put him in there.
Yeah.
So.
But are we going to talk about the little elephant in the room that happened this past weekend?
Oh, I think I was actually about to reference it. Chris Jericho.
No, not that.
Rusev.
No, not that.
What happened this weekend?
The big breakup.
Oh shit! Oh, whoa! Yeah, that was my last piece of news.
Oh, that was your last piece. Okay, good.
I was 2 news pieces away because I wasn't seeing it on my screen. I was like, wait, what are you talking about?
Oh, because I really want to get on that one.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot to talk about that one. But first, this happened this week, right? Yeah, the match. Mm-hmm. What is happening? First off,
I don't know.
We originally announced Rusev versus The Undertaker in a casting match, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody was losing their shit because Rusev was gonna get buried. Next thing you know, I'm assuming it was a storyline, but I don't know. Lana didn't want him in, and then they put Chris Jericho in. And the people were like, well, what the hell? And then Chris Jericho was promoting the match literally on Twitter. He did even an interview with somebody talking about, I'm going undefeated in casting matches. So,
but technically, he was.
Yeah. And literally 3 days later, they switched the match again.
I woke up and I'm like, huh? I thought it was old news. And then I turned around like, wait, what?
No, and it's back on again. So Chris Jericho actually shed some light on this in a interview from CBS. He said, "For me at this point, whether they want me to be part of Royal Rumble or work the Undertaker against Funaki in a lingerie match, wherever they want me to do there, I will. That's the good thing about my legacy and where I'm at this point in my career. I can be opening the match or main event, whatever it is. I'm going to be good. Things change as part of WWE happens all the time." So what changed in a span of 3 days? The thing is, the timeline, this is actually amazing when you think about it. I don't know. Because they announced I remember they announced Chris Jericho thing around Thursday. And before Monday Night Raw, which had to be either Sunday, it must have been on Sunday, they changed the match again. And it's like,
it even got to the point, and Rusev joking about it. You see his whole...
Oh, yeah, Throwback Thursday, yeah. Because it wasn't even... It was literally less than a week that they switched it twice. How? I don't know what that was.
I'm actually just waiting for Jericho and Rusev versus Undertaker in the gas match now.
It could be a handicap. I can see that. So what was the original? Was the original plan for Rusev to get buried, and then he says, screw it, might as well just put Chris Jericho. We don't want to bury Rusev. So now the plan is, you know what?
Listen, he's not going. No, hell no, he's not going
Who knows?
over. Come on, seriously. As many times as we've been lobbying for Rusev to go over in the small matches that he's in, do you think he's going to go over against The Undertaker? The only thing I can see this, and I'm talking as more as a smart than a fan, I see this more as a test from where, hey, Rusev, you're going to face The Undertaker. Be on your best behavior. So if you're good to Taker, if Taker feels like you're pretty good, he'll say something to
Vince.
the higher ups, the Vince and the higher ups and stuff. Like, you know what? Let that man win.
Okay. I mean,
So,
I'd be shocked.
so if you start to see Rusev win some of his matches, if you start to see Rusev winning belts or whatever, that means that Taker probably gave him some high praise and stuff.
Well, we'll see. Well, hopefully,
Because he's going to lose eventually.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I just realized I'm pretty much going to miss the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I'm missing it too. Not on purpose though, because I have this meeting for this project that I'm working on, that we're all going to hibachi grow for it on April 27th.
Oh, wow.
Because I didn't realize how early the event actually was. But I remember it was in Saudi Arabia, so there you go.
I'm at work and I don't get off to 4. That's Friday.
To be fair, I think it might still be on, because
by the time I get home,
yeah, it doesn't actually start until 2. The kickoff show, is a 2-hour kickoff show, mind you.
Oh, I thought it was started at 12.
No. The kickoff show starts. So hold on, I actually had the official time. Give me a second, if I remember this correctly. Actually, I could just go to the WWE Network, because they always have the schedule a week from when they do it. So, hold on. Oh yeah, and by the way, I just want to point this out. Even though I don't know if you noticed this, because you had the WWE. Wait, do you have the WWE Network, Ron?
No, I don't.
Okay, but because like on the WWE Network, when you click on it, they always advertise, if you're not a member, get your free month, and they're showing this month's event, which is the Greatest Royal Rumble. I don't know if this was by mistake, if they didn't think nobody was going to notice it, but they have the official poster up for the Greatest Royal Rumble, and they show all the superstars. You know what some key people that are actually in the day and advertised that are in this picture?
No.
Shane McMahon, Great Khali, and Rey Mysterio.
Well, I did hear them say. I did hear.
I know there was some rumblings on Rey Mysterio, but what the fuck, Great Khali?
Well, come on, let's be serious.
But Great Khali is gonna be there.
He's around the corner.
True, but who's gonna eliminate Great Khali? It's like the whole Big Show thing all over again.
Exactly what's going to happen. Also, I will be right back.
All right, because I was gonna look up the date anyway. I'm gonna make sure I'm right. The time, April 27th. Okay. Son of a bitch.
I'm in here.
Where is the date? Jump to. Screw it. Greatest Royal Rumble date time. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so the kickoff show. Okay, so Ron, you were right. I don't know if you're listening or not. You were right. The kickoff show starts at 11. Stupid advertisement. So the kickoff show starts off at 11, and the actual show begins at 12. And it's actually scheduled for 5 hours, which is
it's for 5 hours. Okay.
It is. No, yeah, it is. It doesn't. They're saying it doesn't go off until 5.
They give it the Royal Rumble. I mean the WrestleMania.
It is. This is literally. And if did you see the stage for the leak stages? this is literally WrestleMania because they're building a completely new stage. Because usually live events they just say a curtain and there you go. They're literally building a stage, and we don't even get that with regular
this is really interesting. This is actually really interesting, in my opinion, to the fact of them actually
going out their way,
going out their way for this. Because
like this is no, you're right.
Like they've done. This is the first time they've done
an overseas tour.
Overseas tour or overseas pay-per-view at that. I mean, they've done the UK stuff. They've done the Japan thing. Yeah. So this they haven't really done as much as
because this
is a whole different
advertisement. Thing. Like they're advertising the American people to watch this. The Beast in the East, and they would say, well, if you're gonna watch it, stay up that late, then why we go ahead.
Yeah, but like, this is just like it's like they this is a whole nother thing.
This is a pay-per-view.
Do you think that this is like a new
thing that they're gonna be doing where it's like they're gonna have big events overseas?
Not to say overseas. Do you think they're going to have? I mean, it might be good because I'm going to tell you the truth. People have been lobbying for Royal Rumble to come, not Royal Rumble, for WrestleMania to come to the UK, and I think at least once,
it's
because you have
out of the realm of possibility. Because again, even though it's technically still America, WrestleMania 18 was in Canada, so.
Yeah, it was 6.
So it's like it's not out of the realm of possibility to have a WrestleMania outside.
I think that they should at least. I mean, remember SummerSlam?
Yeah, it was in the UK. Right?
Was in the UK, and yes, I mean it had to be taped,
but it doesn't matter.
But yeah, like, it really doesn't matter. You know, to the point. Y'all make it a certain time. If y'all can bend time and make WrestleMania from 7 o'clock to
12:50 in the morning.
Yeah, you know, if y'all could bend time and everything like that, make WrestleMania earlier in the UK, make us watch it earlier. We gotta take the day off. We'll take the day off.
Well, that's the I think that's the glory thing about the WWE Network. It's the same thing again with the Beast of the East, a Japan event that they streamed live.
It was at 8 in the morning here.
Yeah, so it's like
I did have to wake up for that.
Yeah.
And another thing to think about too. So speaking of the WWE Network, I know it's probably like a little bit of the news, but did you hear about the potential rumor that they might start doing premium plans?
You said what?
They might start doing premium plans.
I heard about that, and to be honest, I don't think it would really make a difference. I mean, in a difference in a way, it was like I don't think it's gonna drive away the viewers because again, the WWE Network is for pretty much the hardcore fans. They're gonna pay for whatever anyway.
I'm a hardcore fan.
Think about it. They priced their T-shirts at $28 on the WWE shop, and there's some really shitty T-shirts, and people buy them. So the point is. So that's my point. I personally think there's gonna be some backlash. Don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, you're gonna pay for it anyway.
I mean, not me. I know.
I mean, the people that they're marketing to are going to. It's the same reason why people still pay tickets for WWE events, despite the freaking fact that it's literally over $150 more than what I paid for it back in 2015. That's not the point. But that's the whole point, though. WWE doesn't care because they know it's sad but true. Type Man actually said it. Remember, if you remember, it doesn't matter. You guys are just gonna boo whatever anyway. Y'all still gonna watch. Y'all are still gonna watch.
Yeah.
So it's like it doesn't matter if I can see them doing $15 a month. It won't make a difference.
Yeah, for the premium. I mean,
yeah, they won't fucking care. They don't think, okay, whatever. It's just $5 more. That's again. It's just, I think it's to the point where, again, WWE is pretty much the monopoly in terms of wrestling business. It doesn't matter. They can get away with so much shit. They're just gonna accept it because, I mean, yes, we have alternatives like New Japan and Ring of Honor, but realistically, we're just gonna watch this.
Yeah.
That's how they.
Or if you like me, I just got websites.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's pretty much like it's like Amazon.
I know my way around. I know my way around the internet.
Yep. They're like Amazon and Google. What other search engine are you gonna search on?
Mm.
And that's pretty much WWE's gotten to that point. And last bit of news before the real news that happened this week. Yeah.
The biggest news out of, I mean, yes, the death of Bruno Sammartino was probably the biggest news.
Oh no, this was bigger.
Wrestling, but this was
because my brother didn't even believe me when I
on a whole other level,
and he was like, "That is bullshit," because it literally came like around like 8:00 at night or something.
Yeah, actually, I think it happened. I think it happened on a Sunday, right?
Yeah. And he was like, that was bullshit. And you know what's interesting? Even before, whatever. You know what's interesting about that, though? There was no acknowledgement on it at all on Raw. I'm actually shocked about that.
You know, all right. So as you say that, there was no acknowledgement of it Raw, but they acknowledged it on WWE.com.
True, and that's what's so weird. It's like... So is the website supposed to be like kayfabe or
no? I feel like they wanted to say something because everybody else was talking about it. WWE actually hates TMZ. Believe it or not, they actually really do hate TMZ because when
they hate it with a passion.
Yeah, because when a story breaks out about something, like I feel like the hate started around the time when when Rusev and Lana got engaged.
Oh yeah, they killed their storyline.
Yeah,
they hated that so much. That was how many months into that storyline and they got killed? Almost like 4 months into it. They got killed because of fucking TMZ out of all people.
Yeah. So because of that, it's like and most other websites, but as you see, they'll tell other websites, okay, we're going to do this, like for the Hall of Fame, that we're going to do this, and this person, blah, blah,
let's
blah.
not BS here with the Hall of Fame. Despite the fact that WWE says it was first broken by whatever and whatever. Look, they
tell them, okay? But I'm just saying.
No, but I do get your point.
I want people that they tell, you don't see them telling TMZ
shit.
Okay, like, hey, tell them that we're going to be doing this. No, they're not going to tell them that. So the fact of TMZ, I don't think TMZ actually broke the story first.
No, it was US Weekly out of all people. That's why I didn't believe it was real. I was like, you don't even hear about US Weekly.
Yeah, US Weekly is not necessarily known as their, they're not really known for their, no, actually, no. Let me rephrase that. They're not known for telling the truth. They have had stories where they kind of spread their lies a little bit.
And that's why my brother didn't believe it at first. He was like, well, it's from US Weekly. Who the hell even listens to them? But then I showed him the Instagram post. He was like, oh.
Yeah, but yeah, everything.
But yeah, before we get to that major thing, I do want to point out first, before I got to the other news, before we get to the real news, we just updated their website. Here's some interesting stuff. We just updated their websites because I don't know if you go on the website do you go on the WWE website at all, Ron? I
go to WWE. I go to shop WWE. That's about it.
Okay. Well, on the website, they have a show section. So you have you could click on whatever show, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, 205. It doesn't matter. They usually have 6 specific superstars on the Raw and SmackDowns and NXT and 205 Live. Pretty much the people who they consider their main people on the show. So they updated it because of the superstar shakeup, and I find some very interesting thing. So for the Raw side, Roman, who's been there since day one, Seth Rollins been there since day one, Brock Lesnar's been there since day one, and Finn Balor's been there since day one. Alexa Bliss was there last year and she's still in there this year, but they replaced The Miz, who got drafted to SmackDown, with Bobby Roode, which I find interesting. Out of everybody, they could have replaced him with Bobby Roode. So,
well, as been said, Bobby Roode is good with his entrance, and then everything else afterwards is pretty lackluster.
Yeah,
But,
that's what I'm shocked. I'm shocked they haven't put Braun Strowman in that spot yet. So that's what I find interesting. But SmackDown side is the real telling part. So because of the shakeup, AJ is still there and Charlotte is still there, but they replaced a lot of people. Kevin Owens because he got drafted Raw, got replaced by The Miz. Jinder got replaced by Samoa Joe. Asuka replaced who was it? I believe it was John. No, Asuka replaced Randy Orton, and Daniel Bryan replaced Shinsuke Nakamura. So it's like, interesting. I just find that interesting how could they usually promote one female, but now they're promoting two females on SmackDown. So I just find that interesting. But my original main news before we get to the thing was the Greatest Royal Rumble. They have a match change. Cause they didn't publicly announce it, but per the advertisement of the country of Saudi Arabia themselves, the once fatal 4-way match for the Intercontinental title is now a fatal 5-way.
Oh yeah.
So the lineup right now, we didn't update the website to tell it was per the advertised Saudi Arabia. It is the Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe versus The Miz versus Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley.
Oh, yeah, Bobby. Interesting.
So
he's not going to win, but
I know, but I just find that's why it's weird. Why even add it?
I actually had somewhat of hopes for Samoa Joe to win, being the fact that Samoa Joe was into the thing, and I'm saying to myself, okay, Samoa Joe, but then surprise, surprise, he's on SmackDown, and it's like, oh well, now he's not going. That's just like Jin, and it sucks because Jinder Mahal, being the fact that he's in there, he's going to be praised over there, and he's about to lose to Jeff Hardy.
I'm not too sure about that because the Superstar Shakeup did something interesting that people forgot. It made a match completely change the match. Well, because of Superstar Shakeup, I'll get into that in the review, but.
I might say, I like to hear this because as far as I know,
there is one interesting because of the Superstar Shakeup. One match is still in question of how can they actually even do the match realistically. But also,
as far as I know, they're probably not going. If they have that type of match with Hardy and Mahal's probably not going to win because Mahal's not involved.
But the thing is, but remember, it's the same situation with the Intercontinental title. They have two people on SmackDown that could easily win and just take the title to SmackDown. It's an interesting scenario they did with this Rumble.
They could. I personally. Okay, yeah, let's talk about it when we get.
But one thing I want to point out: Sheamus and Cesaro versus Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy for the Raw Tag Team titles. Now, due to the fact that the bar moved to SmackDown.
That's another reason why I'm saying this is another reason why I'm not confused, but it kind of made my mind up on it. Not baffled, yes, but also made my mind up on how things are going to go because it's like, well, now I know that these people are not going to win.
And Bray are winning by default because unless SmackDown does the biggest steal in history and steal their tag team division by taking their titles. Realistically, but Matt and Bray have to win.
Yeah, and I'm just like, that's why I'm just like, I personally don't see it. But I mean, I'll say it like this:
they have no choice.
If I'll say it like this: if it's my prediction to anything, I would say that I do not see any title changes happening except for one or two. Maybe,
but we'll get into that. But let's talk about the real news story. So I guess you can start it off.
Well, as we know, John Cena did the biggest heel move in the history of WWE, and he broke up. And the story is, because people was wondering who broke up with who. The story is, apparently, Cena broke up with Nikki. Reason being, he got cold feet. May they were supposed to get married in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, May
May
5th to be exact.
May 5th. Okay.
Cinco de Mayo.
I can't believe we're actually losing. I'm sorry, I'm watching Overwatch and Philly's playing. We're losing to a team that's the worst in the fucking league, and we're already down 2-0. I'm like, I don't get it. Anyway, so yes, apparently Cena broke up with Nikki because he got cold feet. He pretty much was just like, hey, I just remembered I don't want marriage and I don't want kids and I don't know what you were doing to me. But the spell is over. I'm out. And apparently it has left Nikki very devastated because, I mean, look,
6 years.
6 years. And the thing is that in 6 years, okay, the old term, and I hate to use this term, but there's an old term of you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The same sort of goes for Cena. Not calling Cena a hoe, but it's somewhat of the same news. You're trying to change Cena from this person who said, I'm never going to marry again. I don't want children. You could be my girlfriend and as far as I go, but I don't see myself marrying nobody else because he got out of a marriage and I don't see myself having any children. Like he said that and Nikki was this close, changing the man's whole demeanor from making him to a married man. And then he had an interview like a week before saying, maybe I am ready for kids. Maybe this might actually happen. I might
And then
actually.
he came back and he's like, you know what?
And something happened where he was like, wait a minute.
I'm John fucking Cena.
like hey, Nikki. It's like that scene off of Get Out when you finally realize that all this time you've been stirring the damn cup with this thing and hypnotizing me, and now I know how you hypnotize me. You knock that cup out your hand. I know your tricks.
It's like
So he almost had him, but just like no, we can't do this no more. And it sucks too because I'm pretty sure that she had this all planned. Wedding planning is not
easy.
It's not easy, man. And the thing is that they're apparently supposed to get married in Mexico. They had all this ready. May 5th is 2 weeks away? 2 weeks away.
Literally 2 weeks away. So either they realistically didn't have anything set up, or John Cena's like the biggest dick.
They had everything set up.
So John Cena's like the biggest dick then.
Yeah, like I said, that he completely went hero mode. And but you know what? I'm glad he did it now than doing it on the day of.
Day of, when they would have said, if anybody is like, well, what's the line that they use? I'm not bad.
If anybody has anything to say that will stop this marriage, please say it now.
That would have been Cena.
Whoa.
Dude, that would have been a perfect scene for Total Bellas, but they could never film. Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure
the
they
ratings would have been amazing for that episode.
I'm pretty sure that they're filming this whole thing. And yes, this does make Cena look like the bad guy, and I'm glad that it's making Cena look like the bad guy because in the end, that was a dick move, Cena.
You led this woman on for 6 years. 6 years, so much so that you proposed to her at WrestleMania, and over 70,000 people live saw you propose to her.
Like it was a dick move, and then that's when boom! You can't see me.
Now I actually have a few things to say about this because my brother's the one who watches Total Divas. He brought this to my attention. First off, apparently when Nikki Bella moved in with John Cena, he made her sign a 75-page contract.
Yeah, I remember that shit.
I didn't even know that was real. I was like, hey, that's not
That
real.
okay? No. Okay, so it was actually one of the things that people joked about, but
I didn't
um,
realize that was a real thing.
oh wow, I actually have some sort of breaking news, but I'll get into that later. I just saw something that's like really, but yeah, he there's an episode. I don't know if it's Total Divas or Total Bellas, but I think it was Total Divas. But it was an episode where no, it was Total Bellas, and the reason why I say that is because it was an episode where Daniel and the other chick, can't figure the name, Bree. I'm sorry. Daniel and Bree was going to live with Cena and Nikki for a little while in their house, and this is where the rules first came up because it's like they did that behind the scenes, but then they did this here. Like, all right, so now that you're going to live here, we have a couple of rules that we had to abide by. We
Oh
have
wow.
dinner at we have dinner at this time. We will dress nicely during this dinner. We will do this and do that. You have to do this and do that. Our bedtime is at this time. And it's like, huh? Like, John, you're joking, right? He's not joking. He was legit. Like, you think with Cena being like this goofy person in wrestling and everything like that he's sort of like that. No, at his house and when his house, that man means business, and he'll
It's
sit there like,
sad. It's so sad because I think it was either Brie Bell or Nikki Bell who said that this quote, and it's like, damn. Yeah, no. I think Brie Bell's the one who said it. She was like, Nikki, you're not his girlfriend at his house. You're his guest, and it's like, damn.
at nine. He said like at 7 p.m. We're going to try to we are going to eat dinner at this time. You must dress formally at this point. Bedtime will be at this. After bedtime, there will be no one walking around my house.
Hush.
Like it's like it's like what if I have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night? Tough shit.
But
Like
yeah, it's like,
man, hold on.
and
Let me see, if I'll send you that
yeah, send
that
me
link
that. Cause
on
I didn't even know
YouTube.
that was
Is
real. But then second of
yeah,
all, I mean, again, there's always two. The saying goes, there's always two sides to every story, and in this case, technically there is. It's been documented in both photos, videos, or web articles that John Cena specifically said he doesn't want to have kids and he doesn't want to be married. He has said that time after time. So it's not like Nikki Bella didn't see it coming. But then again, yes, you can argue that why did John Cena propose to her in the first place? But it's like he has said
he
this for
had him.
years.
She had him. He almost changed. Okay, he was like I said before. The old term, turning a hoe into a housewife. This is reverse. You're turning someone like John Cena. I just said you the same by the way. You're turning
Yeah,
someone
I
who
got
John
it.
Cena who who has these things set down and I'm never doing this, I'm never doing that. And he's like, I'm ready to I'm on my hands and knees. I love you this much. I'm willing to propose to you. I'm gonna have kids with you. I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with you. And like I said, it's like in the movie Get Out. Nikki had the teacup, and she was stirring the thing and hypnotized him. Cena was all in the unknown or the sunken place. I mean, like that wasn't the John Cena that we all know and everything. That was somebody else's John Cena proposing to and everything like that. Somehow, some way,
Well,
that
first of all,
person.
there's only one person to blame for all of this, and I would like to. People are forgetting there's one person to blame in all of this:
It was
The
that.
Rock. If it wasn't for The Rock beating John Cena at WrestleMania, he would have never divorced his other wife. At least that's how WWE likes to picture it. I would never
So are you
forget that promo
are
from
you gonna
WrestleMania 29.
so
I
are you
would
gonna
never forget
blame
that.
are you gonna blame the Miz for being right?
I don't blame Miz for being right. I blame Undertaker for beating him. This year.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say Macy. That's what I mean. You
No,
gonna bring?
I know. I blame The Rock for beating him last year because he's the one who started this chain reaction. You'd have never dated Nikki. If Nikki should be mad at anybody, she should be mad at The Rock for beating him and divorced his other wife. But first of all, again, WWE, how can you even do that? How can you say a scripted match is the reason why John Cena lost his marriage? I will never forget that promo. That was just some good stuff back then in 2000. What was it, 13? That was some good stuff. My God. But yeah, Undertaker did it this year, so.
But yeah, so.
And now, realistically speaking, how do you think John Cena is going to? You see, the thing is, John Cena is now a PR disaster now, at least for the women in the audience, for WWE now. So it's like, when do you think, first of all, besides Saudi Arabia, which is a completely different circumstance, because Cena's not even going to be nowhere near American soil, when do you think Cena's actually going to come back to WWE? Like,
remember, he's a free agent. He can come by anytime.
True, but my point, yeah, and you're right. So it's like,
so anytime he pleases. So the next time will probably even be between Money in the Bank or SummerSlam. He's a free. I mean, not to also mention. Remember, he does have. He probably has a couple of other projects he has to do anyway. So he's going to be free as is. And by the time he comes back, people are probably going to forget. Well, except for the certain
social justice.
Yeah, so the certain ones. You know, some people are probably going to forget about the fact of, oh yeah, you broke up with Nikki, but hey, glad to have you back, Cena.
Yep. This was something, and it's just so sad. Again, I mean, my final thought on this is it's sad. You do have to feel for Nikki because it's like, how old is she right now?
She's in her.
I think she's like 30. I want to say 38, 7.
Hold on. I was about to look it up too.
Well, whoever's quickest. Hold on. She's 34. I mean, yeah. I was never that good at biology, but isn't there like a certain cutoff limit when you can have kids?
Don't believe that because there are people in their 40s and 50s still having kids.
Sure.
Both male and female. So,
but it's just sad because like 6 years, she could have been with Dolph Ziggler at this point.
I mean, yeah.
But then this man, this piece of garbage, just let her on for 6. Let's realistically think about it. Because at the end of the day, let's be real. John Cena knew in the back of his head that he had no intention on marrying her. He just probably figured which one's going to come first. Either Nikki's going to just say, screw the marriage. And he was like, all right. Or he's going to have to divorce. He's going to have to call off himself. And sadly, he didn't want to do it, but it was getting so close to that date. He's like, fuck, she still didn't say no yet. And that's just the reality of it. He probably, it was either one or two things. Either he was waiting for her to call it off, or he had to call it off himself, and he probably didn't want to be the one to do it.
I mean, like I said, he realized who he was, and he pretty much was like, okay, I'm done. We can't do this anymore. It's over. I gotta go.
Yep. Now, I decided instead of talking about Raw and SmackDown, we're just gonna talk about 205 Live and NXT as shows, because what we're gonna do instead is just talk about the Superstar Shakeup, because Superstar Shakeup was basically, essentially, both of those shows.
Oh, okay.
And what happened for each? So basically, how we're gonna do today's show.
Also, but wait. Yeah. The one thing I do want to talk about. I just saw this. I want your opinion on this because Jesus Christ. Apparently, Shinsuke Nakamura is demanding WWE to release a Speak No English T-shirt.
Oh, that's amazing.
You think it's amazing?
I mean,
I don't.
I mean, either he's acting. Wait, did he say that on Twitter? Because this is clearly he's just being a troll.
No. This is. I mean, this is the dirt sheets, but apparently
because I was saying because if he said it on Twitter, then he's obviously being a troll. But if
if you've seen him on Twitter, he's been trolling.
Yeah, that's my point. I would figure it was just a troll tweet, but if the dirt sheets are reported on him, then I mean, I highly doubt it because they would have been released it at this point. It's been like 2 weeks, so if they were gonna release it, they were gonna release it since the first week he said it. So
Yeah,
I highly doubt
I,
it.
I don't think that's a good idea if they do that. Like, that's just not a good idea at all.
I don't think they are because they would have released it that very first week, and they didn't. So they're probably no they're gonna release a new shirt, Nakamura shirt. It just won't be that shirt. So
Just yeah, it won't be that.
but yeah,
I'm
so,
surprised. I'm actually surprised he's getting far with this. All right, so let's talk
we'll
about
see.
the.
I mean, well, we'll see. I mean, after the Greatest Royal Rumble, we'll have an idea what they're gonna. Because again, despite it might not meaning much, it seems like Nakamura is not their direction anymore in terms of main event. After this, because again, he got taken off. He got replaced by Samoa Joe in the picture. That's one.
It will be
So
it will be interesting where they're going to go.
Well, then again,
I mean, he does have another match. He does have a match.
That's my point.
Yeah, so.
But then again, I say that, and Braun Strowman has always been the main event this whole year, despite him never being on like the highlighted 6 people for the brand. So I could be completely wrong, and we'll see. But okay, so Superstar Shakeup is basically just another way of saying draft. For some reason, they hates the word draft. They did away with that. No, yeah, so they basically did away with it. So they call it Superstar Shakeup, which I mean, I guess if you want to own a name to something, sure. But all right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk about which superstar moved, what effect they have on that episode of Raw, and where you see them going in the future. So first one that got drafted was Jinder Mahal. At that time, he was the United States champion, and also with him being drafted, Singh brothers got drafted. He eventually
Singh brought her.
Well, both of them. They did confirm both of them, but I do get your point. Because the other one's injured. He did actually lose the United States title, but he is still part of the Raw roster. And so, yeah, any thoughts on Jinder Mahal? And you think this was a good or bad move for him?
I feel like that this is kind of a bad move for him. All right. So the one thing about SmackDown that you have to give SmackDown credit for is that they were willing to give anyone a chance at the title. But at Raw, when you have someone like Lesnar and Roman as your top people, the furthest you want to go as if you want to be in a championship consideration is the mid cards or tag team. Because I mean, and listen, I don't want Jinder Mahal to ever touch a championship or again a main championship ever again. But I'm going to be truthful here and say that you can't. At least with Jinder Mahal, you gave him the belt because not saying there was no competition there, but they had equal competition. It's like I'll put it to you in like a WWE 2K game sense. Jinder Mahal's rating probably before he became champion was probably 85, maybe 70, whatever. Let's say like that. But you still had a chance to beat Randy Orton if you cheat a couple times. You know, that kind of thing. So you turn around and you beat Randy Orton, became champion. You beat 2 times. You beat Nakamura, who was higher than you. By now, your superstar rating has gotten up from where you're in the middle of your thing. The point I'm making here is that he was good on SmackDown because SmackDown, you didn't have to worry about other people.
Basically, there was no other. Basically, I get your point. Basically, in terms of his position, he was basically the top because there was really no other heels that could fill that role. Because Owens at the time, Owens and Zayn were doing something completely different, so he was literally the only person.
Yeah.
So he always had a spot on SmackDown no matter that. The question is, will he have a spot on Raw? And based on him losing and his next interaction was with No Way Jose out of all people, I think that gives us an answer where Jinder Mahal is going to be in the card.
He's not going to see championship anything
until probably after. I'll give it until probably after SummerSlam. If anything, yeah, he's pretty much out of the title picture completely, unless they do some weird shit at the Greatest Royal Rumble. But yeah. Okay. So I'll bring this up on SmackDown, but the next people were collectively the Riot Squad, which was Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, and Liz Morgan. They interfered with Sasha, and they interfered with Sasha in the match, which ended in a no contest, and that's how they pretty much debuted. So, do you think it was a good move or bad move for these three?
I'll say a good move because in terms of this case, I don't want to spoil it. Well, no, I'll just say it. Based on the fact that since Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville is now on SmackDown, and not to also mention, I feel like that those two are going to be single and not.
I don't personally see it because again, we have to remember who is the GM, Paige. They can literally do a storyline where they're getting everything they want because Paige is the GM. It's not like they left. It's not like Paige left both of them on bad terms. For God's sake, she just drafted them on her show. There's clearly something going on. They're going to be doing something with those two. As a team.
But at the same time, the whole thing is like, because remember the running joke is the fact of, wow, we have Absolution on SmackDown. We have, so it's like now you have the Riot Squad doing the same thing that Absolution should have been doing or could have been doing. Anything. I'll say it like this: the storyline that Absolution was probably going to have with, say, Sasha and Bayley or whatever, it's going to happen with the Riot Squad now.
Because they could. No, you're right. Because they couldn't do it because Paige was injured. There was clearly something, but since they have a third person, I think the whole storyline is that they were going to be the odds going to be stacked against them. So
yes,
but yeah, personally to me, I feel like this was a good move for them because realistically speaking, Ruby Riott just fought Charlotte and she lost, and that was pretty much the height they were going to go. So they had to go on SmackDown because where else could you go? After that, you just lost the highest you were gonna get, and you just lost. Where else can y'all go? So Raw was this was pretty much
it. And like I said, the storyline they probably had planned for them is probably going to be now on the Riot Squad.
I mean, I have to admit, out of all the women last year, they for their short tenure on that brand, they actually did pretty well. Think about it. They injured Becky Lynch on their very first night. They took out Naomi, a former SmackDown Women's Champion, and they were taunting Charlotte for months. So, realistically, they actually did a good job on that brand.
Yeah.
I mean, despite them losing in the end, but they realistically, if you look back at it, they did better than most of the women on the roster, on that roster. But, yeah, before we move on to next people, Nima even made up a good point. A year ago, Mahal... a victory over Mahal meant 0. Now victory over Mahal means more. To a point. It depends on which superstar.
Like I said, it's going to be really hard. You went from the kiddie pool to the big pool.
Let's put this in perspective. Last year, Jinder Mahal got drafted to SmackDown. It wasn't even announced on the show. They announced it on their YouTube page.
But at the same time, let's be clear. As much shit as I give Jinder Mahal, let's be serious for a second. Did you expect when Jinder Mahal came into the SmackDown screen and he was in his serious mood? Because remember, this was actually the debut of the modern day Maharaja. Was the last draft. Back then, when he was on Raw, he was just the I'm
A
using.
jobber. He was a jobber.
Yeah, he was a jobber, and his whole gimmick was like, I come in peace
The
and anything like
peacemaker,
that.
yeah.
And everything. This is him now. Him now. He was the modern day Maharaja. And when you come in here, you're like, okay, so my goal here is I'm going to win a belt. I'm pretty sure people laughed when it was like, you're going to do what? You? Jinder Mahal going to win what? So when it came down to it, and everything, did he actually win the belt?
Yep.
Yes.
And he held it longer than anybody that year.
Okay, when he won that number one contendership, he's like, oh, that's funny. He actually won the thing. Okay, well, he's not going to be Randy Orton. I mean, come on, he's not going to be Randy Orton. He beat Randy Orton. Well, okay.
I fell out my seat. I fell out my seat that day.
But come on, Randy Orton's going to get the belt back. So he just keep going from him. Randy Orton's going to get that belt back. He beat him again. Oh, okay. Well, all right. So it's going to be a third time. All right, fine. So he's going to beat him the third time. In the Punjabi prison match, fuck, he just want to lose. So
let's not forget, there was a chance that Jinder Mahal could have beat Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series, because that was the potential match. Let's not forget that. That's how much they're pushing Jinder Mahal. So
yeah, like Jinder came in there like as a shocker. Like, this guy, you never expected. When you go on to the WWE.com thing and you go on who are the current champions of WWE right now? Oh, Brock Lesnar, yeah, that's a shock. Oh, tag team champions. It's such and such. Oh, okay. All right, let's go to SmackDown. Jinder Mahal. The guy from 3MB.
Yeah, that Jinder Mahal.
He's the.
Ooh, and let's point out, for the first time in over 5 years, they're all on the same brand.
Yo, yeah, it's coming. I don't see
the coming.
Listen, I don't see the intentional. I don't see the intentional reunion. I see a backstage gimmick because hell, you know what I actually want? I want current day right now. And fine, effort. No. I'll say that when we get to that point.
All right. But okay, so technically this was necessarily a trade, more so they just acquired them, Owens and Zayn, because they were fired, so it wasn't necessarily a trade, more so they just acquired those two. I mean, they had no choice because they pretty much made SmackDown like just hell on earth. So there was no way they could have stayed on there after WrestleMania. That's why they could have won, because where could you actually use these two at on SmackDown? Based on what they did this whole year, they couldn't do nothing. So they had to go to Raw. They had no choice but to go to Raw. The real interesting thing is they're considering them a tag team, which is something interesting. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, me too.
They're treating them as a tag team. Which, to be fair, the Raw tag team division, they do need some people. So
I'll say it like this: if for those who actually know Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn beforehand, they were a tag team. They started off as a tag team. Mr. Wrestling Casting and El Generico. They were a tag team. So it's not like wow, why did you put these two people together? They've been a tag team before. And they've been Ring of Honor tag team champions. It worked. They've done it before. They can do it again. Certainly.
Yeah. And I can actually see like a few. Realistically, I can see them holding the titles. Because really think about it, who else besides the Authors of Pain and look like they're pushing the next people I'm about to say, but Breezango.
That was
because
actually
they let them beat Sheamus and Cesaro.
Which by the way, when that happened, I'm like, oh crap, they're getting traded.
They had no choice. Yeah, they had no choice. So it's like it seems like those are the teams they're pushing. And
I don't see them pushing it. I feel like them losing was the farewell
tour. Yeah.
The farewell match for them. I don't see them pushing Breezango that much.
I can see Breezango in the same position as probably Gallus or Anderson, where it's like they're a team that if necessarily they have to feud with somebody on a main roster level, that's going to be the team to feud with, because like I mean they're not going to touch the belt. They might contend for it one night, but they're not going to touch it.
Oh no.
So they're probably there just to serve as a name for the Authors of Pain. I hate to say it. Sadly, as a name for the Authors of Pain to just bulldoze through, because at least they're a team name. Breezango.
I mean, hell, they did it for the Bludgeon Brothers. So.
True, and that's my point. They use Breezango as a means to an end to push the other team. Which I mean, in that kind of position, I can say it's a good thing, because it's like the fact that they're willing to use you to elevate these guys somewhat, then I guess that says something, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so those two. So I can see Owens and Zayn holding those tag titles in the future. Zack Ryder, he got drafted on Twitter, so that tells you all you need to know of his position.
I kind of feel like that it's a shame that Mojo and
Zach on. I
Zack
figured they would have separated them. No, yeah, it's like it makes no sense. You put them on Raw.
No, but it's the same as Owens and Sammy, except no one cares. It's like, hey, we're destined to do this forever. But we don't care if you do this forever.
In all honesty, I really would have thought they would just move Mojo to Raw, because to be honest, I think Mojo has a chance of going somewhere than at Zack Ryder at this point.
I feel like Mojo has a place to go somewhere. I feel like he should go home.
Yeah. They're probably there just to fill up the main event show that they tape every hour.
Listen, if I have a choice between watching a Mojo match and watching a Zack Ryder match, I would
Zack Ryder.
No, I probably drink berry acid. But
okay.
but on the latter, then yes, I will probably say a Zack Ryder match than a Mojo match. Mojo is terrible.
Oh, so before I continue, and so this pretty much confirmed my thought as to why I blatantly skipped over this news piece because it didn't have no substance. But I did see the picture, and now the fact that somebody's reporting on it, okay, yeah. So out of the people who are currently part of the South Africa tour, there's one name in particular that's not there, which is Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, I did notice. I have her on Instagram, and she is home.
Yes, but judging by the picture that she posted on Twitter, there's a reason why she's not there, which would also explain the reason why she didn't appear on Raw at all, besides a backstage segment.
What was that?
She has a boob job.
You know what? I did see that. Someone else posted that. Oh, come on.
Which would really explain why the way she was used on Raw. It would make sense.
She's so small and petite. How big is it?
I mean, how about you just go on Twitter and you can see for yourself?
Oh, it's on her Twitter?
Yeah, that was the point. Because I saw it on Twitter yesterday. I didn't think nothing of it, but after, in hindsight, with the way she was used on Raw and her not being a South Africa tour, it makes sense.
Oh, man, I'm not going to.
Which would also explain why Billie Kay and Peyton Royce lack of appearance in NXT. That would also explain it.
Which picture am I looking for?
Just her current one.
The April 19th?
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, that's
That explains it. Why she wasn't used at all. It's the same reason, and it's the same explanation as to why Billy Kane, Peyton White weren't used at like for the past 5 months on NXT up until now, while they're on the main roster.
But she didn't. Okay, so I'm looking at her. She didn't really need it.
Same thing with Billy Kane, Peyton Royce. I didn't think they needed it.
I mean, she's like so small. She's small. And
you know what?
now
In
she's
hindsight, they did update her WWE profile picture, so it makes sense. So there you go. Yeah, I only just brought it up because somebody finally reported it on my news website. So there you go. But yeah, who was the next people? Okay, yeah, Breezango, as I said. Yeah, they were in their course on SmackDown Live. I actually do prefer this move because it's funny. Ironically, they are on my Raw brand on my 2K18 Universe mode, so I just find that ironic. But yeah, and realistically, they needed this because they extended, and maybe we might get more fashion files. Realistically, because Raw has 3 hours, they need to kill time somehow.
true.
You only do so much on because remember it was filling up time they had to put on WWE.com, so I can actually see some more fashion files on SmackDown. Like again, could you imagine them doing it for people like Bray and Matt, Owens and Zayn, and the Authors of Pain on them? That could actually be funny. There could be some funny stuff there. Someone who I'm shocked, but realistically, she ran her course, Natalya.
Well, I feel like Natalya is there because she's going to be just for Ronda Rousey's sake. I mean,
and it's funny, and I mentioned this last podcast. I was like, realistically, and because the WrestleMania podcast, I was like, if they need anybody in that position to fight Ronda Rousey, it should have been Natalya, but they never pushed her. And lo and behold, a week later, here's Natalya on Raw in a storyline with Ronda Rousey, somewhat. And yeah, so I can actually see Natalya getting a push, not a title picture push, but push in the way is that she's gonna be interacting with Ronda Rousey.
Or I'm not even gonna say that. She can be in the title picture.
No, she can. No, Natalya can. Realistically, they don't even put Sasha Banks in the title picture anymore. Do you really think they're gonna put Natalya in the title picture?
I feel. I mean, listen, we said that last time when she was doing the whole thing with the Money in the Bank and all that stuff. Her and Naomi, and she beat Naomi for the belt. I mean, a lot of people were surprised because remember how long it has been. She can do it. I feel like she can do it. I feel like hell, they gave Jeff Hardy the belt, and Jeff Hardy is now a 2-time. I don't know why they keep saying just a regular Grand Slam. He's a 2-time Grand Slam champion.
I know.
Okay, so
he won the European and hardcore titles. So
yeah, I feel like that they can give it to her. She'll be like the first. I want not say the first. But a Grand Slam champion as far. Well, no, she never won NXT.
Charlotte would be the technically first Grand Slam because
but she never won NXT either.
True. Yeah, so Charlotte right now, unless they consider what they could say, unless they consider. Wait, did Natalya ever win the women's title? Like, I mean, pre this women's title. I'm talking about the other women's title that they retired.
No, she's like,
who on this roster can say?
No one other than Charlotte.
I don't think nobody. Shit! Wow, what a world we live in. Nobody. First of all, hold on. Let me look up the lineage of that title. Hold on. Is anybody on the active?
Can we talk about the Divas title, right?
Yeah. Well, no. I'm actually referring to the women's title. Can anybody on the active roster say? If they win this title, they can become a Grand Slam women's champion. I'm talking about like the title that like Mickey James. There you go.
Yeah, Mickey James. That's probably it.
She's the only person that if she wins both of these titles, because she's won the Divas title before, she could be literally be the only one that can say, um, she's won all the active women's champion. She won all the women's championships that were in WWE. Huh. But in terms of divas, let me look up divas real quick. Who can actually can you consider this grand
The only one that can the only one that can do it is Charlotte because Sasha never won it, Becky never won it.
Alicia Fox. But they won't do it. They won't do it.
Let's be serious for a second.
Yeah.
I mean, they could.
It's not impossible. That would be the weirdest 8 months of television I will ever see. But Maurice, they have Maurice, which I highly doubt.
No, Maurice is fully retired.
Yeah. Maybe. There's one person I could do. Nikki Bella, maybe. If she ever decides to come back. Hey, she got nothing to lose anymore. She has nothing to lose anymore.
Nikki's on Tinder right now.
I mean, there's only, besides, so I'm looking at this list. Besides Mickey James, there was only one other person they could have done it with, but now it's never going to happen. Paige. Basically been the only person. That could be with Charlotte, where she's won the NXT title and also won the other one. So there you go. Charlotte, as of right now, unless for some reason they push Alicia Fox, is the only person that can say they won those titles. But moving back on. After Natalia. Okay, so here's a weird one. A weird one as in I don't know the direction they're going. Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, I don't know what they went with this, but I'm glad that this next part happened.
Yeah, because alongside Dolph Ziggler, which I'm assuming we'll see this week whether or not they're going this route. Drew McIntyre, he got called up from NXT, which I was actually legit shocked because based on his way he was talking during the NXT pre-show, he was like he had some unfinished business with either Alistair or Andrade.
I'm pretty sure he was shocked. I'm pretty sure he was shocked about the future.
Yeah, I was shocked.
You
were shocked too? Yeah, I didn't think he was gonna get caught up.
No, that went over your head.
Huh?
That went over your head. I said that I'm pretty sure that he was shocked about the future.
What do you mean?
Future shock.
Oh, the future shock DT, gotcha.
Yeah. That went way over your head.
Well, you said it so fast, I didn't.
You gotta keep up with me in my jokes, man. You gotta keep up with me.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, you said it so fast. It took you a second to even process that, but yeah. Drew McIntyre, and he's a heel, which makes the second time that WWE has changed the position of an NXT superstar on the main roster. What I mean by that is Bobby Roode was a heel for his tenure in NXT, and the second he got caught up, he changed positions. So Drew McIntyre marks the second person they have done that to.
He's better a heel anyway.
So now, do you see him as a tag team?
No. I see them, and I don't know how long it's going to be, but I see them more as, and bear with me as I say this, I see them more as Shawn Michaels and No, Shawn Michaels and Diesel.
Oh, where it's like Mac. No, what I'm assuming is gonna happen, because based on reports today, despite the earlier claims earlier this year, Dolph Ziggler has not re-signed his contract. It actually expires in the summer. So I feel like between now and SummerSlam, they're gonna use Dolph Ziggler as pretty much Drew McIntyre, even though he doesn't need it. Mouthpiece, and he's the McIntyre's it's they're gonna use Dolph Ziggler, and I hate to use this analogy, but you'll get my point, as Enzo Amore and Drew McIntyre's big cast, where they're clearly pushing Drew McIntyre, but Dolph Ziggler is also there.
I was trying to keep it content with just Shawn Michaels and Diesel. I would rather Shawn Michaels and Diesel.
But yeah,
Because, no.
but yeah, the point is the person that's gonna come out of this as the main person to pushing is Drew McIntyre. God forbid they ever push Dolph Ziggler again.
I feel like if they go and push, if they're going to push Dolph Ziggler, it's going to be because they're going to want him to sign. Yeah, they're going to want to.
Money. Well, to be fair, I thought that's why he got in the main event spot at Fastlane. In that six-pack challenge. That's what I originally thought. Now, the next person I actually like because I think he's going to be in the main event picture rather quickly, and based on how they used him as Raw as just a simple vignette, I think that's the case. Baron Corbin.
Yeah, I want to see this. This is the same thing I said about Jinder Mahal. About
he was and I agree. He was perfectly fine on SmackDown.
Yeah, he was perfectly fine on SmackDown, and also he was fine on SmackDown. Okay, yes, and he was on his own. He didn't need anyone else on SmackDown, really. You know, like I mean, he didn't really need anything on SmackDown. He could have made a name on his own just by being.
Again, he was in a position where it's like he didn't have to worry about somebody else overtaking his spot on the card because
yes.
Again, Owens and Zayn were literally doing something else. So the only two heels y'all had was Corbin and Jinder. So he was in that perfect position.
Not to also mention, and I it's like it sucks that we're at this whole thing again from where you have to remind yourself, like when they say SmackDown is an end of opportunity, they literally do mean it as an end of opportunity because, I mean, people legit had opportunities. Meanwhile, on Raw, for Raw being a 3-hour show, it's all about Lesnar, Reigns, and
Strowman.
Yeah, you know, and it's like
there's only those three really. Rollins even at the near the end of the year didn't really do anything.
It pushed Rollins down.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, no, you're right. Because people like Naomi would have never became women's champion on Raw. You would have never saw that. You would have never saw Natalya as the women's champion because they had people like it was literally Raw was literally the Alexa Bliss show.
Yeah.
That was it. I can't say Sasha because that only lasted a week. As I would never understand that. That buried Sasha. I'm sorry. That's the day that they officially buried Sasha. When she won at SummerSlam, Alexa Bliss literally said, "I'm going to take the title away from you because you can never successfully defend it." And literally, clean as a whistle, Alexa Bliss takes the title from Sasha. What the fuck? I never understood that.
It kind of gives Sasha something too, as if, girl, come on now, how long can you hold the title for? Like we can't keep getting these opportunities, you know, like you win it at your hometown and then that's what you know in a week you're like, oh, okay, well, here, I kept it warm for you. I mean, for fuck's sake, he barely held the title for long.
I don't know long, and that's my point. It was weird.
And in my opinion, barely, Sasha is the better wrestler, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. But you saw how they treated her. So yeah, but Corbin, I can actually see Corbin being one of the few people that's actually gonna be part of the main event scene, just because Vince McMahon is so high on him. I can actually, and again, he's the only superstar that did not actually appear on Raw when they announced him, so they just did a vignette on him. So I'm assuming.
Well, he's at home. Well, no, he was at home at the same time too.
True, but it's like they're clearly gonna do. They're no like they're he's not gonna be a part of the shuffle. They're actually gonna probably. I can actually realistically see him feuding with Roman Reigns, despite if anybody wants that. I can actually see that happening.
No, I can see it too.
As first reported on Instagram, the Ascension are moving to Raw. So again, you see exactly their position. The last main person that was on television that got drafted was Bobby Roode, which again, I feel like he had a lot more to do on SmackDown. The issue from the very beginning is that you had him as a face, so it was like you kind of shot yourselves in the foot because you can only do so much with him as a face, and this is what happened.
Yeah.
And you saw near the end, that's kind of what happened. Because, again, he lost to Randy Orton. Which, as a heel, I don't think he would have never lost to Randy Orton if he was a heel. And it's like, you limited what he could actually really could do. And that's what happened. So I feel like I think they're going to turn him heel on Raw. This was just a one-night thing of him teaming up with the face. I think eventually they're actually going to turn him heel. And he could actually be a perfect opponent for Roman Reigns. Or someone like Seth Rollins. And yeah, but the other three people, which were Twitter exclusive, Mojo Rawley, which again that should tell you, Mike Kanellis, which to be honest with you, I thought he was already he was gone.
Well, I feel like that they wasn't going to let him do that because he did have the
there was a
rehab.
lot going on with this guy.
Yeah, he was in rehab. That man is somewhat of a success story. Yeah, think about it.
He's an exception. He's an exception to the people.
Yeah, because he was in
and the
rehab.
Fact that they're actually giving him a chance. They're actually giving him a chance and put him on a Raw. I mean, either they can go one or two ways. Either A, he's just gonna be used for main event purposes, and when I say main event, I mean the TV show main event. Or B, they're gonna somewhat push him. The one I'm scratching my head for, which is the last one they drafted, was Chad Gable. And alone. So they split him up.
Yeah, I was a little surprised about that.
Now, they can be, again, one or two ways. They can actually push this guy. He can, unlike everybody who was Twitter exclusive, Instagram group exclusive, Chad Gable actually has potential. They can actually make him actually serious. Because I can see a realistic match between him and Seth Rollins, him and Finn Balor. Because he's proven it on SmackDown. People like AJ and Rusev and Corbin. When he was that short-term run as a singles person.
Wow. Sorry, I'm just... We effing lost to fucking... okay.
But it's like, yeah.
It wasn't our week this week.
Oh, you guys lost in Overwatch.
Yeah, we lost last night to New York, and then we just lost to San Francisco, who is not one of the best teams in Overwatch, and we just lost to them, and I want to fucking die.
Don't worry, man. It'll be all right. Now, in SmackDown, which I personally feel like had the better people.
SmackDown, because here's the thing, and a lot of people was saying, what does SmackDown going to have? Because you just took away some like the SmackDown people. Yeah, well,
they as in take who they realistically took that were like big names was Owens, Zayn, and Corbin. That was it, and Rude. Those are the only four. They took SmackDown's mid to lower card. Except for three main eventers, they took most of them. But in the replacements, damn. First off, right off the bat, Jeff Hardy, which was kind of expected because the way Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt's going, they were clearly.
Well, I said that last time, like Jeff is going to go on his own, and the thing is, I don't know I don't know how, I don't know why, but for some reason, Vince and Triple H is for some reason is more um they're more into Jeff than they are into Matt.
Because Jeff has proven that he can sell well as a singles competitor. Matt clearly proved it, but he's still, I guess he has a lot more proving to do. But Jeff established in the past that he can be a singles wrestler. So much so that they gave him both their world titles, the WWE World Heavyweight title for a short run. So it's like he's proven that he can be on his own and people will care. So I think that's the reason why, which is why they gave him the United States title so quickly when he came back,
I guess
just
so.
to give him something. And he took the title back to SmackDown despite the fact Jinder Mahal took the Raw. Now, this was the main point I was trying to get to this whole time. Now, last week, but people don't tend to forget about this whole Superstar Shakeup thing. Before Superstar Shakeup happened, last week on SmackDown, there was a triple threat match to determine the number one contendership for the United States title for Jinder Mahal at the time. It was Randy Orton, Rusev, and Bobby Roode. Who won that match?
Oh, I'm sorry, Dave. One more time I was reading something.
Okay. So what people tend to forget, last
Yes.
week there was a triple threat match for
Mm-hmm.
number one contendership for the United States title at Backlash. Not the Greatest Royal Rumble, Backlash. It was Rusev, Randy Orton, and Bobby Roode. Who won that match?
Oh yeah.
Randy Orton won that match.
Mm-hmm.
On Monday when Jinder Mahal went to Raw, I was scratching my head. I was like, well, that clearly means Orton is going to lose because Jinder Mahal is on Raw. They got to keep the title on Raw. But literally a day later, Jeff Hardy took the title back to SmackDown. So now it's like, now I know Jinder Mahal is getting his rematch at the Greatest Royal Rumble. But are they going to ignore Randy Orton all of a sudden? Are they going to ignore the fact that he just won the number one contenders match? And I don't think they are because, again, but people tend to forget about the show. They included Randy Orton into this because he was supposed to fight Shelton Benjamin 101, but Jeff Hardy came out and interfered him. And took his spot instead. So I think what we're actually gonna get is Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton. Did we ever get that match before? Did they ever fight?
Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton. Yes.
I don't
For the
remember.
W-
Oh, you're
for the-
right.
for
You're
the
right.
WWE title.
I'm actually remember. Yep. Damn, it's been so long. I'm about to say, like, did we actually ever see this match before? I'm surprised.
Yeah,
I'd have been shocked if we haven't. But yeah, I think it might be Jeff. If Jeff Hardy retains at South Africa, it's gonna be Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy at Backlash. I'm assuming, it would make zero sense for them to completely forget the fact that Randy Orton, won that number one contenders match. You had Absolution join SmackDown, which we pretty much we already talked about them. It's like, well, again, if you have one of Absolution on Raw, the other Absolution has to go to SmackDown. So that's what happened. And it makes sense because, again, Paige is on SmackDown, GM. We're on good terms, so we'll see what goes from there. The big name, Samoa Joe. Thoughts?
Surprising. Because Samoa Joe was talking a mean streak about
and that promo he cut after his match, yeah.
Suddenly, as we know, he
It's gonna be
down
interesting to
champion.
see. Now, it's gonna be interesting to see if he actually wins at the Greatest Royal Rumble.
I don't.
He did say, quote, I don't think he's gonna win, but he did say, quote, well, once I win at the Greatest Royal Rumble and win the Intercontinental title, I'm going after Roman Reigns, and if just so happens he beats Brock Lesnar for the Universal title, I'm taking that title to SmackDown too.
He's not.
Realistically, that's not gonna happen, but the Intercontinental title, it's questionable. They could literally just do a switch at the Greatest Royal Rumble, where Jinder Mahal takes the title back to Raw, and Samoa Joe takes the title. Samoa Joe or The Miz takes the title to SmackDown at the Greatest Royal Rumble. So it's going to be an interesting show to see if that actually happens. Big Cass.
Hmm.
Clearly being pushed as the main eventer.
I really wish he wasn't.
And his first feud with Daniel Bryan.
I really, he doesn't deserve that. He doesn't deserve that. That's
Wait. Who does deserve that? Daniel Bryan doesn't deserve it, or Big Cass doesn't deserve it?
both.
Both.
Daniel
Okay.
Bryan doesn't deserve to be stuck in the program with Big Cass in his return, and Big Cass doesn't deserve to face someone as decorated as Daniel Bryan.
Well, to be fair, it was obvious before he got injured that they were pushing Big Cass. So I'm assuming what it is, they're just resuming. They're just going back as scheduled. The only difference is just on a different brand because due to the Enzo situation, I guess they need someone. They decide for Big Cass would be best for him to be on SmackDown.
I don't care.
So I'm assuming that's what it was. And unfortunately, Daniel Bryan was open. They was like, oh yeah, you're back from injury. So there you go.
I don't care. He is too good of a person to be facing somebody like Big Cass.
And now you know exactly how I feel about Grand Metalik being wasted with those two garbage people known as Kalisto and Lince Dorado. Now you know how I feel.
Look, listen, no, it's completely different.
No, it's the exact same thing. Why is he being wasted as a tag team?
It is completely different.
All right, but
Daniel Bryan is. I'm not saying that Lince Dorado is not a decorated wrestler in his own right.
You mean Grand Metalik?
I mean, yeah, Grand Metalik. I mean, he's not saying that he's not a decorated wrestler in his own right, but he's no Daniel fucking Bryan. Okay. Now here's something that I said that I think will happen. I think that he's going to be once again just like Dolph Ziggler and
McIntyre
and Drew McIntyre. I feel like The Miz is going to be with Big Cass.
Clearly, he's going to be his mouthpiece. I mean, that's the way. I mean, it would make sense. It would be able to extend whatever they're doing with Daniel Bryan and Miz to probably at least SummerSlam. I can see that. Because since the Miz doesn't have the Miztourage anymore, so
because let's be serious. As I'm looking for my wallets, let's be serious. Big Cass can't talk. He is the worst at talking. They gave him.
Why Enzo always talked.
Yes, I mean that was the only good thing about Enzo was the fact that Enzo can talk, while Big Cass just sits there and says his catchphrases and then beats a giant skyscraper, whatever, and saves the day. But Big Cass is ass. Okay, and when it comes to talking, so I do not see him talking much with him or anything like that, and I see him. I see the Miz helping him out.
That's probably what's gonna happen. Yeah. Asuka.
Not surprised.
I mean, yeah. Again, just like NXT, she ran her course on Raw. Besides Ronda Rousey, there was nobody left. She literally ran her course. So.
And here's the thing. And here's the thing I think is going to happen. She's going to wait. Hold on for a second. She's going to want to, as I do this real quick, I'm gonna keep talking.
Okay.
She's going to want to face Charlotte again. she's gonna want Charlotte again. She's gonna want her to face her again because it's like, no, yeah, you did beat me, but I want you again. Think of it like Goku.
Yeah. So, but what else they're gonna do with it? Because now they're in the spot where it's like, if you look at that roster, especially with the loss of Natalia, the only credible people that can actually go toe to toe with with Asuka is literally Charlotte and Becky Lynch. I mean, as much as I love Naomi, realistically,
no, I feel like Naomi can do it too. I feel like Naomi can. She can do it. The question is, are you going to let her?
Are you going to let her? But yeah, that's my point. The only realistic people that it's proven that they can go is either Charlotte or Becky. So it's like, unless, I mean, we don't know what they're gonna do with Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. So, and Carmella is clearly gonna hide the whole time.
Jeez, about time.
So it's like, yeah, Cesaro and Sheamus, which again, pretty much confirms they're not winning the Raw Tag Team title. So that was a weird. They could have waited. You see, that's the thing about they be booking stuff and announcing shit in advance. You literally just told us basically by default that Shane Cesaro cannot win because it's called the Raw Tag Team titles.
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
It's weird,
like
but
yeah. So I mean, but again, they pretty much were on top of the tag team division. There was literally nothing else they could do. So you saw, for God's sakes, before Braun Strowman, their last feud was with Titus Worldwide. So there you go. They literally ran through everybody in the tag team division on Raw. So this is something new for them. They can feud with the Usos, the Bludgeon Brothers, the New Day again, and there you go.
Oh crap! Hold on, I'll be right back. Keep talking.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, we already talked about The Miz. The Miz was actually drafted on the first night, so I mean, I feel like Miz could have still stayed on Raw. They could have done a lot more with The Miz, but obviously, I think we all know the real reason why Miz was put back to SmackDown, because now since Daniel Bryan's cleared, they can actually pay off that feud that they had back in 2016. It was just the only issue was Daniel Bryan couldn't do anything physical. So in this case, they can actually do it, and I think that's what they're gonna do. Clearly, what you call it? I forgot to mention Gallus Anderson, because they were in the vignette. That's why they're coming to SmackDown, which I'm actually shocked, because now that whole point of Balor Club thing was kind of pointless when you think about it, because they're not going to be with Finn Balor. So that's something. And we will see what they're going to do with Gallus Anderson. They again, that gives them more possibilities. They could feud with people like, again, the Bludgeon Brothers, the Usos, which we never seen before, and we seen it in the very beginning before the brand split. So it's like, but now no, like these version of the Usos. So we can. The club could actually, again, as Ron alluded to, SmackDown. The one thing you have to give SmackDown credit for, they actually lived up to their name, which was the land of opportunity. People got opportunities on SmackDown, so at the end of the day, they can actually do some stuff with Gallus Anderson.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just talking about Gallus Anderson. The guy, I actually skipped over them.
I actually was surprised that they did go. That they went over, because it's like, well, what's the point? Like, you have the bar.
What was the point of Balor Club?
That too. Well, you know what? You know what it is with that? Oh, finally. Jeez, this is on everything today. I'll tell you about that in a second. But I feel like with the whole Balor Club thing, I feel like Balor Club expanded more than just the club. I feel like Bottle Club is now what I'm looking at them, what they feel like what they're trying to do with them, and how Bottle Club is for everyone. It clearly means like Bottle Club is for everyone, including the like his entrance and
No. I get your point. Basically, I guess they didn't want to make the Battle Club as just as a stable. They're trying to make it like an actual like brand where they. No. I get your point. So because of that, they couldn't really make it a stable anymore. They're trying to make it like a brand,
a natural brand. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like no, and I do get your point. So I guess that makes sense. And again, I was saying, as you said, SmackDown is the land of opportunity, so they might actually get a chance with some people.
Well, with the bar there, I just don't know. Like,
It's under a different umbrella, so you're right, but
it's gonna be kind of hard. If I look at it as, I kind of look at it as the same as that thing is going to happen in Raw with the bar that happens in SmackDown, or is going to happen in SmackDown.
As Big E said, the immortal one, R-Truth.
Actually, you know what? I just forgot about that.
What?
We still got the New Day. We still got the.
Yeah, they got
some. We still got the.
Bludgeon Brothers.
So maybe I might be wrong about this. Not saying that the New Day. I mean, look, the New Day is going to get their title sometime soon. Okay, they're going to get a title. The Bludgeon Brothers, they're the champions. Usos, you cannot forget about them either. But now that I think about it, I did forget about this. The tag teams are stacked now because you do have the New Day, the Usos, the Bludgeon Brothers, the Bar, Anderson and Gallows. Those are 5 tag teams right there. That's like, this might actually be, something.
Man, you're right. We will see. And I'm going to give my whole thought on this whole Superstar Shake because I think they did something right. Not just for just the brand as a whole, but overall, I think there's a reason why I think they did it with SmackDown. But, and the last 3 people, because they were NXT call-ups. First up, Andrade Cien Almas and Selena Vega.
I was actually happy for this. I was surprised, and I was actually very happy.
It was due time. They were, it was due time.
It was due time, but I'm actually happy that, and I'm happy that he went to SmackDown because, once again, end of opportunity, he would have been lost.
I could see him getting pushed. He's probably gonna get that Roberto Del Rio push.
Exactly. Meanwhile, if he would have went to Raw,
nope,
I feel Roman. Yeah, but just buried by anything, he would have been lost in the sauce. That's the thing about Raw is like you have these wrestlers,
and it's sad. It's the same thing with the Revival. It's like they never had a chance. The Revival, they had a handicap from the very beginning when one of them got injured literally 2 weeks after they debuted. So it was like, they were already handicapped. And the last big one from NXT, which caused some confusion because there's something missing, Sanity.
Actually, I have a reason for that. And I was actually prepared for this because I've read something about this particular thing.
Sanity, yeah. So, members of Sanity are getting called up except for Nikki Cross.
The reason being is because they want Nikki to stay there. She's going to help the NXT women's side to grow, which is, to me, is a good idea because who do you...
I told you this. I literally told you this before in our prediction. It's like Shayna Baszler literally has nobody.
Yeah. And but yeah, it's we at that point again of
With
who's
Oscar, it's an
there.
Oscar situation where she literally has nobody. And granted, Shayna Baszler actually never fought most of those women there, but in terms of realism, none of those women have a chance except for Nikki Cross, which is if you do watch NXT, Nikki Cross hasn't been on TV in a while.
Yeah.
So I think they purposely took her off to make people forget about that. And then Nikki Cross, I think that's the Takeover Brooklyn match actually. Nikki Cross versus Shayna Baszler. I think that's going to be the Brooklyn match. I can see that.
What's
I
next? I forgot they
see
were in here.
I see Chicago being maybe a triple threat between Dakota Kai and Lacey Evans and Shayna Baszler. I can see that. But yeah, I think the Brooklyn match is going to be Nikki Cross versus Shayna Baszler. I can see that.
Also, I completely forgot that NXT is actually in Bethlehem.
Yep. I was debating on going to the event, but I was like, that's too much of a distance to go to. So I was debating on actually going to the event today. But yeah, that was too much of a distance. But so yeah, first of all, I just want to say personally, I'm happy for Sanity because they've been there for a while. And it's finally time they got caught up. And further, I'm gonna personally am happy for Eric Young because with Eric Young being caught up, that marks the last person to get caught up from NXT. That was a TNA. He's finally on the WWE.
And there you go. There you go. That's another. Okay, so potential feuds: New Day and Sandy.
I don't know, dude. I was thinking that's the WrestleMania match. 3-on-3.
I,
They literally have three.
I look. Listen, you say WrestleMania match, and yes, that's true. But WrestleMania is a whole nother year,
I know,
man.
but book it right, dude. They did it with AJ and Nakamura. If you book it right, they can prolong this.
Do it now.
I mean, a SummerSlam. I mean, I can see, SummerSlam.
Yeah, a SummerSlam, but nah, do it now. You got.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to hurt because Big E. All right, who you got? I'll put Big E
With Dane, obviously.
with Dane because those two are just going to kill each other.
It's gonna be Woods and Kofi. I already said it's gonna
Kofi.
be Woods and Young.
Yeah, because those two know each other. They wrestled each other before.
That's my point. Yeah, it's gonna be Woods and Young, Kofi and Wolf, and obviously Big E and Dane. So there you go.
Yeah, put them together.
So yeah, I know SmackDown. So the whole point of all this, and I was trying to tell my brother, I feel like we're at a point where it's like this is gonna be some interesting television because SmackDown. The issue with SmackDown last year is literally the only, and I'm not trying to try to shorthand people like Nakamura or Bobby Roode, but SmackDown was literally AJ was carrying that show all last year. It was only him.
Yeah.
But now you have star. I'm not saying again. I'm not trying to say Nakamura is not a star, but it's like, but now you have some legit names. Hardy, Jeff Hardy.
I say it like this: Nakamura was a star. Nakamura was a star. He's gonna be a bigger star.
Yes, because of the people they have. We have Jeff Hardy. You have Samoa Joe. You have Asuka. You have Cesaro and Sheamus as the team. Cesaro and Sheamus. You have the Miz, and then you have call-ups like Andrade, who just literally had 2 back-to-back incredible matches at Takeover.
Can you imagine Andrade versus AJ?
Yeah, that's my point. It's like,
can you just see that happening? Can you?
I can imagine. Yeah, it's gonna. Again, I think SmackDown is gonna have that 2016 SmackDown where it was like, yeah, it's obvious SmackDown's the better show than Raw.
Again.
So,
Again.
2017, yeah, I feel like Jinder Mahal was just a plant to purposely downgrade SmackDown, and it worked. So, yeah, with this roster, it's gonna be good. And also, in terms of money wise, because the issue with SmackDown, people don't want to admit this. The issue with SmackDown, they weren't selling tickets, and their TV shows they always had to block off the non-camera area that they weren't shooting the camera.
Yeah,
on.
the tarps.
Yeah, but now I think with this roster, that won't even be an issue anymore. I feel like touring brand wise, they have the perfect split roster. Well, let's be real. Raw was gonna be fine regardless, just because of the name alone. It was gonna.
Yeah,
people
are going to show up Monday Night
Yeah,
Raw.
they're just gonna see it anyway. If anything, just for Roman Reigns for some reason. But yeah, it's just the truth. Raw was gonna be fine regardless. SmackDown just need that star power, but now you actually, because again, AJ can only do so much, and you have to give it to the man. And you have to give how much WWE has confidence in AJ. They let him carry a brand for almost the past 3 years.
And he's the person to do it. I mean, he did it.
So now he actually has help with like Jeff Hardy, The Miz, and now Daniel Bryan is back. And like again, SmackDown is finally back to what it was back in 2016.
Listen, we have AJ, we have Bryan, we have Joe. We pretty much have Ring of Honor right now.
Yeah, you have Eric. Yeah, Sandy.
Yeah, Eric. Sandy, Eric.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying, but Sandy reminds me of a Ring of Honor stable. Same thing with the New Day, really.
Yeah, so it's like again, SmackDown has that roster. It's like, and then you have the long term people like Randy Orton to help out the other people. So it's like again, SmackDown could potentially be back in 2016 where you have people like Ambrose, Cena on a regular basis, Wyatt when he was actually credible, The Miz. It's like the list goes on and on. Dolph Ziggler when he was actually somebody. Yeah. So I feel like this was actually a good switch for. I mean, you lost someone like Bobby Roode and Corbin, which I personally felt like they would have been better off on SmackDown. But the people you gained with Joe and The Miz and Hardy, and then the call-ups like Andrade Cien Almas right there. You know you're gonna get a 5-star match out of him with Andrade. So it's like, and then the fraction, like you actually have. You finally, with Sandy being called up, you finally have a realistic opponent for the New Day. And I mean, like, in terms of finally being an even playing field. I mean, like, sure, the Bludgeon Brothers, they're going to overpower New Day just by, they're just, in terms of size, Harper and Ron Canada, but, like, you actually have a legit, evenly matched playing field.
And wait, here's something to think. Yeah. Here's something to think about. What if Sandy goes up against the Bludgeon Brothers?
That again, they potentially already have their tag team matches for SummerSlam and WrestleMania already set. They potentially already have it. And again, Sanity versus the Usos, Sanity versus Gallus. Like the possibilities on SmackDown is literally endless now. You can see Joe versus Styles, for God's sakes. Young versus Styles.
Hell, Bryan versus hell, give me a 3-way. Give me an old fashioned.
What, Styles, Bryan, and Joe?
Yeah,
I could actually a fatal 4-way. Throw in Young, and there's your Ring of Honor.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, yeah, like, yeah. If you want, yeah, and add on to that. Give me, you know what? Maybe. I mean. I already said that this was a better one, but now talking about it now,
yeah, it's like you see the
now they're talking about it. It's like, yeah, you know,
SmackDown's gonna be musty. Imagine the Miz and Maurice versus Andrade and Selena Vega.
Well, I don't know about Maurice. She's mine.
That's assuming Andrade is a face, but
and then wait, and here's another thing too. Vega can wrestle. We've seen this.
I know.
Okay. What if Vega puts herself into the women's division and then handles things herself? Because
what they did, they if you notice, they drafted them as like they didn't draft them as a pair. They just said both Andrade and Selena Vega. They just didn't mention like Selena Vega was just there. So they're sending her a separate super. I mean, it's not in the case of Rusev and Lana, but it's like she's a superstar.
Not to also mention, I feel like they're going to start pushing her a little bit anyway, being to the fact of now with
And
this
she can
Paige
actually
movie coming
wrestle.
out. Not just that, but also with this Paige movie coming out.
Exactly.
So they're going to definitely push her. Hell, when you think about it, now that Paige is on SmackDown and now she's on SmackDown too, you got Paige, the person who's playing Paige.
Like
She,
again,
I hate to think like this because I'm gonna make myself sound like you for a second. No offense.
No, but realistically, the roster that they have. Yeah,
No, but
because
hear me out. Like I said I hate to sound like you for a second. No offense, but what if sometime down the line they Vega and CN kind of break up a little bit, and then Vega goes with Mandy Rose, and
I can see that.
And so they'd be because hey, I can play as Paige. I've done it in the movie.
I mean, they can
It won't
realistically
it
do
won't
that,
it won't happen, but it would be funny. It would be like, well, technically you are Paige in this movie, so want to make absolutions? It's kind of like replacing a Power Ranger.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much exactly what they did with the American Alpha.
Which, by the way, I'm actually happy that Benjamin kept the theme.
Yeah, because it was a good theme. I'm mad he doesn't have his original one, but ain't no stopping me now.
I'd rather him not have that. It's a good theme, but it's run its course.
No, the most criminal one of them all is Kurt Hawkins. They gave him that shitty song compared to one that he used to have.
Well,
you remember the one he used to have?
I know he used to have, but like, let's be serious for a second. You gotta at least win something.
I know, and you're right.
Before you get a.
No, the most. I mean, granted, I like his new theme, but come on, Drew McIntyre's old theme.
Well, it could be worse. You could be Mojo's theme.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that is. Yeah, I will never understand. I will never understand that. I'm glad he hadn't had an entrance since like January.
Or what we haven't seen.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure the people who are there have to witness that. But for us sitting at home, we don't have to see that. He's already in the ring, and we should keep it. Yeah. We should keep it like that.
Thoughts on SmackDown as a whole?
I'm just hoping that from what we're talking about, I'm hoping that they will actually do
this
with
year. SmackDown is going to be profitable to them in terms of live events because that roster alone, they can probably sell out buildings.
And it's a younger squad than what Raw has.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, Raw was fine regardless. They're pretty much just shuffling the main event card around in mid card, but SmackDown actually needed this.
Yeah,
because literally AJ was literally by himself, and Owens and Zayn were feuding with Shane. So literally AJ had to carry the show by himself. But now you have Hardy, again Andrade.
Shit, Hardy. And the one thing I will request for Hardy, just get healthier. I know I'm not saying that he's not healthy, but you can kind of tell. You all right? If you and I say this with all respect, but it's starting to catch up to him and stuff.
How he can perform in the ring.
Yes, it's starting to catch up to him.
I didn't notice that.
And it's like, remember, Matt is the older Hardy, but yet
that says a lot. I know that says a lot.
But yet Matt is the better performer than Jeff, and Matt doesn't get hurt as much as Jeff. And whatever, but Matt also doesn't take the drugs that Jeff did and whatever, and it's starting to come back on Jeff. Like, yes, Jeff can still do it, but I feel like Jeff needs to say something. Hey, listen, I'm getting a little hurt. Can I not wrestle tonight? Can I take a break? I'll drop the title. I just need to take a break for a little bit. Like, I'm not trying to say that Jeff should start thinking about being a part-timer, but he needs to start thinking about
He
for
needs
what
to
he does,
have like Randy Orton's schedule.
for the type of wrestling that he does. He needs to be a little better. Not saying change up your whole style, or change up his whole style and everything, but like,
Are you trying to say he needs to get Jinder Mahal better?
oh no, hell no. No. What I'm saying is he needs to know his limits. And he needs to know I can still do these things, but if I'm starting to feel some type of pain, instead of trying to work through it, let me say something to somebody. If I gotta take a couple of weeks off, I'll take a couple of weeks off to get myself healed. But don't kill yourself because it's starting like for his style of wrestling that he does. You know, because he's a glorified spot monkey for all that we know.
Yeah.
Okay, but you know he's in his 40s.
He's pretty much AJ. The difference is AJ hasn't done the amount of stuff to his body that Jeff Hardy has done, so that's why he can
Yeah.
still do.
Yes.
AJ can still do everything perfectly fine because he's not. Yeah, no. I do get your point because AJ is also 40. So
yeah, I mean, hell, maybe it's time for someone to step in to talk to Jeff Hardy, and that's someone I'm talking about DDP.
Oh, yeah, that was definitely helpful. No, and yeah, in all seriousness, you are right.
I feel like
feel
DDP
like,
should
yeah.
step in. I mean, look, hey, look at Goldust, look at Chris Jericho,
Look at Kane.
look at AJ Styles. AJ Styles,
Kane.
yeah, but no, Kane too, because Kane has taken it. Look at AJ Styles. AJ Styles was taken because there was a point before AJ went to WWE, he was in New Japan. He had a back problem and he took DDP yoga and he was ready by the time
Why
he
is
went to Royal
DDP
Rumble.
not part of the WWE's medical staff?
Because it's magic versus real. Think of it, Vince McMahon. I don't want that magic stuff in there. I want actual doctors.
I know, but like it's just realistically, if all your top wrestlers like Chris Jericho, Styles, and whatever are getting help from an outside source, shouldn't you probably actually hire that outside source?
Well, not just that, but also DDP doesn't necessarily have a doctorate.
But the point is, it's like clearly he's doing more for these wrestlers than what
he could be more of a personal trainer than a doctor because
we'll just have him on the payroll.
He is on the payroll. It's called the Legends deal.
But I'm talking about like actually like.
I know what you mean. Yeah. I mean, and you're right.
Involved.
You're right about that, but it's like I said, like I feel like that not a doctor, no, because I'm pretty sure, especially with this whole CM Punk lawsuit, I'm pretty sure they're looking for doctors. Mm-hmm. I feel like that if anything, he should just be in the.
No, he should be in the gorilla position to like check if like say somebody had a sprain or something.
That's fine.
Like, yeah, like I'm talking about like before they jump to conclusion, they could be like, okay, DDP can tell if this is actually like if this is serious or not. I'm not saying a doctor can't do, but like he can tell you, okay, you just have to rest it for like some like he should be in the gorilla position there is what I'm saying.
Well, like I say, so for me, I feel like that he should probably also be a personal trainer or whatever. So to a point from where he can do that.
You're right. But yeah, so 205 Live. The only noteworthy thing on besides the main event, which the main event was actually good, between the Lucha Dragons and Hideo and I said Lucha Dragons, for fuck's sake, Lucha House Party.
Jesus, dude, Lucha Dragons.
I know. The Lucha House Party again. Why is?
By the way, I
resorted to this.
He's resorted to it because he's a lucha.
But he's better than all of them. If the Cruiserweight Classic is anything to go by default, he is better than both of them.
Although I will say this, I really hate that name.
The Lucha House Party?
I really hate that name. I hate that.
Dumb. At least Hideo and Akira doesn't have a team name. At least they didn't go that far. But yeah, the Lucha House Party.
The Lucha House Party. That is. Why are we calling ourselves that?
I don't know. And Grandma again because Grandma Lee can't. This how to get Grandma Lee. He has to agree with you because he can't speak English. So it's like the fuck. But yeah, the noteworthy thing besides that good main event, they didn't introduce the tag titles, which I mean, the weird thing about it is, it's not like there was just some random rumor that popped up about it. WWE during WrestleMania week literally filed these patents so none of these merchandise people can make like try to resell these. And one of the things in the patent was clearly a title that we never seen before. And based on what it said, cruiserweight tag team, it's obvious it's the cruiserweight tag team titles.
I feel like that is going to happen because yeah, we all talked about it
It's like it's not
before.
like some fake thing we brought up. It's a real title. They just clearly just are not showing yet.
They're going to the reveal is going to be big. It's going to be bigger, but I feel like the thing that I want, because it seems like they do all these things in tournaments anyway, and I feel like the thing that they should do first, introduce newer tag teams to just the Lucha House Party.
They're kind of already doing that. I mean, yeah, you have the Lucha House Party. You have the Japs, as my brother likes to call them.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Can you let your brother know we kind of can't say that now? It's a little PC.
And they just introduced Kendrick and Gallagher. So they're clearly slowly establishing the tag team division on 205 Live.
Are we calling them the Brits?
No, but I'm just saying. But yeah, they're clearly establishing a tag team division, which is fine. But it's just this was apparently their blow off match. So it's like, so where do they go from here? But why not introduce the titles at that match and then there you go?
Give it a little while. I'm pretty sure that he's going to.
But the noteworthy thing of the whole show was originally Buddy Murphy was supposed to have a cruiserweight championship match at the Greatest Royal Rumble.
I'm going to say, didn't
they announced it? Yeah, they announced it.
Oh, so he is having it. Okay.
No. However, due to him not making weight, and Buddy Murphy's hilarious for even acknowledging that, because at the same at Tuesday they did his regular weigh-in, and he weighed 207, and Buddy Murphy was like, well, I can just cut in 2 hours. He's, I'm sorry. Jay Mack was like, I'm sorry, man. You didn't make weight. He was like, you don't test any of the other people on the roster. It's only him. And it's like, well, he has a point there. I have never seen nobody else get weighed in besides Buddy Murphy.
Well, let's be serious for a second. Everyone back then was in the Cruiserweight Championship. They still rated themselves as a Cruiserweight. The only person who looked like a heavier Cruiserweight is Cedric Alexander. Everybody else is considered a Cruiserweight.
No, but the point he was getting at, he's like, you don't want anybody else but me. And he said, I'm sorry to make weight. But the thing is, the astonishing thing is, they're weighing somebody for a match that doesn't take place 10 days from now. What sense does that make? Wouldn't it make a lot more sense to weigh him next week, even though it's still like 3 days, but still that's closer? Wouldn't that make a lot more sense?
I'm pretty sure they're going to do the same exact thing with Matt Hardy and what Matt Hardy did when he wanted to go for the Cruiserweight thing. They're going to test him the day of.
Well, I would agree with you, but that's not going to happen clearly because Ray Macker said Buddy Murphy had to get weighed in at a later date because next week on 205 Live, there's going to be the whole show. It was like similar to they did the Raw, a gauntlet match. And the winner of the gauntlet will become the number one contender for Alexander's title at the Greatest Royal Rumble that Friday. Now, the interesting thing that was said about this is that he hasn't announced any of the names, and he alluded to in commentary there might be some new faces, there might be some not. There might be some familiar faces we haven't seen here in a while.
Let me guess.
Who is that one face that we haven't
seen? You're thinking Neville, aren't you?
I mean, he mentioned, he brung it up, and I'm looking at the roster. There's only one person that we haven't seen here in a while, and I'm pretty sure he's not talking about Swan or Enzo.
By the way, Swan apparently.
He was at that Combat Wrestling Zone thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like I thought you retired. Did you
No, no.
realize I retired, but I realized I actually
I
need
need the
money.
money. Yep. But yeah, so he did bring that up, and he also just like a half an hour ago, Magic said follow him on Instagram. He just made an Instagram. He's gonna be announcing the names of the people in the Gauntlet match. So I literally just followed him on Instagram, which I doubt he'll announce Neville because they clearly would say that as a surprise. But yeah, the fact that he didn't announce nobody in it makes me believe they're clearly saving something big because I can't fathom Tyler Bate being the surprise person.
Hmm.
It has to be Neville. Because why quickly change? I feel like what happened. Here's what happened. The original match was Buddy Murphy versus Alexander, but I think between last week and this past Tuesday, Neville and Davey finally came to terms of an agreement. I think, and that's why they completely scrapped the match. Because
Well,
literally the match was booked as Buddy Murphy versus Cedric up until now, and they completely scrapped it for this gauntlet match. So why change the contender if it's not Neville? Who's gonna be Kalisto? Really? No. Like Ron, like be realistic for a second.
you really hate the house party, don't
No,
you?
but my point is, who is realistically going to face
No, you
Neville
no
for
you
the
no
title?
no no you're right. You are right on all accounts. So
Besides, there's only two people that say Alexander hasn't faced yet on this roster, which is Hideo Itami and Mark Andrews. Based on what they're doing with Hideo Itami, that's not happening. And Mark Andrews, highly doubt it. They could have waited for that. I could again. The only thing that makes sense of this for them to completely scrap a match to make this new number one contender match, and they kept saying Buddy Murphy will get his chance later down the line. It has to be Neville.
I mean, it could happen. Anything can happen.
We'll find out. But yeah, so NXT. Johnny Gargaro's back, and this was also the send off for Selena Vega and Andrade, as Selena
Yeah.
Vega had her first and only match in NXT against Candice. So there was that. Obviously, Candice won. Johnny Gargano challenged Aleister Black next week for the
Which
title.
that was actually surprising, but
Again, I don't mean I'm not gonna spoil you, but you'll see why next week. I mean, you'll see
yeah.
how that plays out. You'll see how that plays out next week.
Okay.
Um, Other than that, I did like the backstage thing they did with Shayna Baszler because basically everybody was having a meeting and Shayna Baszler didn't even bother to show up because again, it kind of alludes to the current situation with the women's division. Shayna Baszler said, "Oh, I don't need to show up to that meeting with the rest of the women's roster,"
Yeah.
and then she purposely showed up late. And then made a speech. She was like, "Okay, it's really simple. Either get behind me or get beat down." That was it. It was like, yeah, I mean, she's kind of positioned to say that because literally, and ironically, the only person that wasn't there was Nikki Cross. Because even Kyrie Sane was there in the locker room. So it's like the only person that literally wasn't there was Nikki Cross. So
And I feel like Nikki will be. I mean, I feel like those two.
that's pretty much their Brooklyn match. I already see it. Because otherwise, she could have just went up with the rest of Sanity.
Then again, Nikki Cross isn't really the type of person to.
True, and you're right. It's not in her character to be a part of a gathering.
Yeah.
So
I mean, even when she was with Sandy, she was kind of still to
she was never
herself.
with the women. Yeah, she was never. She never interacted with the women unless she had to, like being part of battle royals and stuff. Otherwise, yeah, you're right. Her interaction was pretty much with who's with Sanity interacted with, which was mostly the. That's what made her different. Again, I think Triple H didn't realize how much they hit gold with Nikki Cross, where it's like she exceeded what the women were doing at the time. interacting with the men, causing them to lose matches and stuff because of her interference. And it's like she was doing something different. So there's that. Lars Sullivan defeated Killian Dane in Killian Dane's send-off match. Roderick Strong's gonna explain his actions the next week as to why he did what he did to Pete Dunne. And interestingly enough, there is no match that has been booked for Takeover Chicago yet. As of these tapings, no, but I'm talking about based on the tapings, there was no match that was booked for Takeover Chicago.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's still pretty early. I mean, Winter Come is in June. So. Yeah, it's still pretty early. If anything, the next round of tapings will probably be.
Well, they have no choice because that will literally lead into, what you would call it, Takeover Chicago, which is in June. But yeah. So any.
By the way, I'm actually not really. I mean, SmackDown's going to win. But what I was going to say was. As far as the takeover, I'm actually surprised that they haven't a takeover this early before SummerSlam because, I mean, you're going to have. June, July, August. Like, are they having takeovers every 3 months now? Because
that was their original. It was a weird position. So back in 2000, I remember this. Back in 2015, because that's when they officially started the quarterly takeover events. Like they had a set day for every takeover, like being like next to the big four basically.
Yeah.
Until they established that 2015. I feel like they put this Takeover Chicago one because they know in June they're always going to be in Chicago. So they said, why not? Because that's the one constant it hasn't been doing. And now since Money in the Bank is considered the big five now, despite the fact that all the brands are dual branded, but this Money in the Bank is clearly considered the big five now. They're putting it with
being the fact that Money in the Bank is
it's very it's one of the it's the only B rank pay-per-view that actually matters basically.
Yeah.
That's not a part of the big four. It's literally the only pay-per-view that actually matters. That's a B rank pay-per-view. So I think that's with that being said, I think that's the reason why they put Takeover there because people are gonna watch Money in the Bank, obviously. So why not put Takeover in there? And it's in Chicago, where the crowd's always gonna be hot, regardless of whatever show they get. So, and considering the fact that both Raw and SmackDown are gonna be, it's again, they're gonna be. They're gonna have post Money in the Bank shows for both Raw and SmackDown anyway, so it's like, you know what, why not? So wait, what? Did they show? Wait, what? Did they show a preview for Power Rangers Beast Morphers? Hold on.
Whoa.
Let me look up something.
Make sure it's not a fan, John. Also, I was as much as I want to keep going, I actually have to go. I mean, I know we're done.
Yeah, I was about to wrap it up. I was about to ask you any thoughts for like next week's show for Lesnar.
Nah. I was just more Roman being butthurt about him wrestling him in a cage.
Now, actually, so here's the question: due to the fact that we're both gonna be doing stuff on Friday.
That's Friday.
Yeah.
And that's Friday. I'm working. I don't know if I'm doing anything. I don't know if I'm
no. But that was my point. Would you want to do, unless you would just want to send me your, I'm debating on doing a podcast on Thursday because I know the Greatest Royal Rumble is on Friday.
I'm working Thursday, but I get off at 2. I don't think I'm going anywhere Thursday. I might just come straight home, so Thursday might be fine.
Yeah, because I know Saturday we're going to be, I mean, there won't be no pod. We'll just talk about our prediction, then we'll just cover the Greatest Royal Rumble. Because it's weird because that next week is Backlash, so it's like,
yeah, right.
I don't know, but we'll figure it out. But thank you guys for watching today's podcast. As always, Ron, and special thanks to Nina Marie and Irish Shane for showing up. And as always, it's Creator and Ron signing off. Catch you guys later. See ya.